All right. How you been?
Busy.
Busy?
Yeah.
Work is good?
Work. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's crazy, but it's good.
Okay. Okay. So I wanted what's up, guys? What is up? What is up? So I wanted to start this uh live because I always love talking to you, right? I always love talking to you. I think we have more productive conversations, particularly when I'm talking with you. So I love it. I don't know. We'll be talking about um I think some pretty hot topics in recent. I mean, we haven't been talking for a while now, so
Hmm.
we'll definitely be talking about at least the two hot topics, right? So, do you know anything about the Rick Chow case?
The who? The who? What?
Rick Chow, Cyrus, uh, what was it? Cyrus, Belton.
Let me get up to date. I spent a lot of time recently avoiding news and.
Voiding news. What you know about the Nolan Wells?
Yes, I
Okay.
know. I know. I know enough. I don't know everything.
hmm
I'm
So
saying
I mean, I wanted
I
us
don't
to
know
talk
all
about
the
those
details.
two,
Okay.
right?
Uh huh.
And how it's shaping, right? Current, I guess, dynamics.
Okay.
But you don't know about the Rick Chow case.
Rick Child. I'm about to know.
Yeah. So I'll give you a brief summary while you're
Okay.
looking at it, right? So a couple months back, right? I mean, this happened in 2023, right? So
Okay.
it wasn't circulating in media, right? It wasn't circulating in media,
Okay.
but only in recent months, right? Like I think what was it? Three months ago, two to 3 months ago. All right.
Hmm.
Um, it was a Chinese guy,
Oh, I do
right?
know about this.
You,
I
you
do know
know,
about this.
well,
Yeah.
he shot a
Hmm.
14-year-old boy. All right.
For allegedly stealing. He didn't steal anything.
Yes, he didn't steal anything.
Hmm.
Well, the shooting thing, right, was supposedly in defense, right? It was defense. The situation leading up to it, right, was because of alleged stealing. Okay.
Hmm.
And in one of those cases, right? Here, let me. You probably. I mean, this. Let's check out this video. Again, I know you're a busy man, so thank you for joining,
Hmm. It's Killer Mike.
Killer Mike. And he's a pretty, big um, voice in the black community, at least, for activism and stuff.
Hmm.
I was man, I was beat up by a lot of the stuff that I saw. I saw in my
Tell me if it's hard of hearing, right? If you could hear it.
It's a little low, but I can hear it right now. If you can boost it, that's cool. But
lifetime. I've seen a black girl be accused of stealing an orange juice and an Asian woman kill her. Latasha Harder. Latasha, yeah. And I remember the world going crazy. And there was a 51-year-old man. I saw a black child, South Carolina, walked out of a store. When confronted, showed I don't have anything. Chased out of that store and shot in the back and killed by a population of people whose entity.
I wanted to touch on that, right? So I'm going to talk about this, right? So you could always interject.
hmm.
Um, so I don't know if he's going to talk about it, right? But one of the backlash, right? One of the backlash is that a lot of black people on the internet, right, on social media, saying, "Oh, let's boycott Asian businesses," right? we are, because Asian businesses are in our communities making money from us. Here's the thing, right? Statistically, there are more Asian businesses in, let's say, white communities than there is in black communities, right? How I can say is that there's more Asian business in suburban areas than there is in urban areas, right? So if you want to say urban areas or black communities, well, then you got to say, suburban areas or white communities. So by sheer numbers, there are more Asian businesses in suburban communities than there is in urban communities. So technically, that is a bit of a lie, right? Misnomer or whatever, right? I'm not saying there's none Asian business in the black community, but it's not like, we
Are there a
became.
lot of Asian?
Yes, there is a difference, right? I haven't looked. I forgot the numbers, but I'm not saying that there's like a crazy amount of difference, right? But there is a difference. So to say that the Asian community came because technically individual and family income, the Asian community surpassed even white people. Okay, so to say that we became that thanks to us being in black communities is also not necessarily true. But I do want to say this, right? You have to also think that what are black communities? It's poverty communities, right? And guess what? A lot of Asian people, they're not coming here wealthy. They're impoverished as well, right? Or low income communities. So to say that, where would you think low income communities live along with other low income communities? I hate this thing where these are black communities. It's just low income communities. That's just it,
Okay.
right? Because if that was true, I made a TikTok about this, right? So if you say that these communities belong to black people, then because black people make up most of these communities, then you have to also, to be consistent with your logic, say America is, a white nation, right? America belongs to white people because they make up most of America, right? You got to be consistent. So that's why I just say this is just low income communities. So I always think that's a misnomer, right? What's your glancery thoughts already?
I mean, I don't have any stats or anything in front of me, but like, what businesses? I'm just curious. I'm just asking, like, what Asian businesses are in suburban communities?
Same businesses, right? Laundromats, Chinese stores, Chinese food stores, nail salons. The same business you see in urban communities, you see in the suburban communities, right? It's not like a different type of business model. It's just a different type of group. And again, it's these cases, right? It's because they live in these groups, right? Or they live in these areas. It's not like necessarily, we're going into black neighborhoods to make money off of them. No, we are living where we're living because that is our income, and we're just making money near where we live.
So I know that. So I'm familiar with the boycott Asian businesses movement that started, and some of the backlash that came behind that too. Why do you think so many people were upset about black people wanting to boycott Asian businesses if they're not really the source, if they're not a large source of wealth?
Okay. Well, what I say, I mean, I didn't list the people who were upset about it, but I will tell you my point of view.
Okay.
Right. And I made videos on this. It's the hypocrisy.
What's the
It's the hypocrisy. So I think, one of the terms is like, oh, we want to support black businesses. Great. You should have wanted to support them before the Rick Chow shit, right? It should have been always. But this is one of my, let's see if we could talk about it, right? This is one of my gripes. The black community only cares about black lives when it involves other communities. And other than that, you don't really care.
Totally disagree. Totally.
How so?
I think the actual issue is, all right. So I think what the actual issue is, you hear about it when someone from another community kills a black person. That's when we make noise about it for everyone else. The rest of the world doesn't care. if we kill each other. It's a myth. It's a myth that black people have a problem where they're killing each other. That black on black crime. That whole thing is a myth. Is a racist myth.
Wait, you said it's a myth. What?
Like the idea of black on black crime. Like,
how's that a myth?
Because just like you were explaining how low income, how neighborhoods are just low income neighborhoods, how people, we've talked about it before, commit crime where they live. There's nothing about this that makes me more likely to kill somebody the same color as me. It's just that we live together. White people commit most of the crime in America, and again,
let's do this.
Because they make up most of the population of America.
Okay, let's do that
against each other.
Yeah, you're correct.
Now you can highlight it when you over police a community that happens to be full of black people, and then you put all those stats on the screen, and you say, well, see, they just commit crime against each other. It's just part of their nature. But we know that 90% of all exonerations are black people. Why? Because
wait. Let's
commit, right?
This is why I wanted to talk to you. I'm not gonna get this kind of conversation on my own. I need this pushback, right? So I love talking to you. Okay, so let's do this point by point, right? Point by point.
All right.
I don't think it's this that makes you a criminal. I think it's this, right? And we would dive into it. I think it's a culture thing. I honestly do think. Okay. Now, here's my problem with your thought process, right? True. Proximity, I mean, crime is of a proximity, right? To use, let's say, hypothetically, white people, right? To say that, oh, they make up the most crime. Correct. By raw numbers. This is why, right? And we make these videos, so I would love to talk about it. Per capita is more important. Right, per capita is more important because here's the thing, right? No, let me logically break it down, right? So I use this example. So to say a population, let's say a white population of 10 people, right? Compared to a population of, let's say, 2 people, black, right? A black population, 2 people only, right? So 10 white people, 2 black people. Let's say the 10 white people, let's say 4 of them commit crimes, right? 4 of them. So that's 40%. 40% is a high pound. While let's say two of the black person, 1 of them did it. Right? But technically, right? It's only 1 to 4. You think 4 is a lot, right? 4 is a lot. But technically, right? You got to look at the population because how can you compare 2 to 10? You can't. Right? You can't. So you think about the probability, right? If I give you 2 candies and I say 1 of them is poison, I mean, that's that you have 50-50 chance of dying, right? While if I give you 10 candies and only 4 of them is poison, there's a less of a chance to get poison from it. So that's why per capita makes more sense, right? Because you got to make it an apple to apple comparison. And this is why I agree with let's go with this exoneration rates, right? That's why I don't do arrests or let's say whatever. Because what I use is homicide rates, killings of black people, right? I don't use arrests of black people because here's the thing. We can both agree that our cop system, justice system, they're incompetent. But the problem with the exoneration thing that people who like you would bring up is that, guess what? The problem isn't that black people are being arrested. The problem is the wrong black person is being arrested. Because like we agreed, proximity, right? We agreed proximity. We both agree, right? Let's say this.
All right.
We agreed that black people are the ones who are killing black people. So that's why I use homicide rates, right? The sheer amount of black people are dying from gunshots. It's not white people killing them. It's other black people, right? The exoneration rate is there because of police incompetence. They are arresting the wrong black person because it is factual that it is a black person that is more likely to kill these black person in the homicide rates. They're just arresting the wrong one. So to say that the exoneration rates is a thing, I agree, but it's not a flex like you think.
That's crazy.
I mean, do you not agree that it is is a black person killing another black person?
I don't. We would have to go over each and every one of those cases. How many of those cases involve somebody of another race? How many?
We just because that's the dishonesty. We just established is proximity.
So
you don't agree now that it's proximity?
So now we got confusing. So here. Let me go back. Let's go back for a second. You said you got to make it an apples to apples comparison, right? Why are we comparing them like that?
What do you mean?
So it's like it's
why are we comparing black and white like that?
Yes. Why are we doing that?
Because black people make up 13 while white makes up 70. It's like a huge disparity. Do you know that? Let's say this, and I brought this up too, so I would love for you to hear me. I would love to you debate it. If all the problems the black community are facing, right? Did you know that white people make up most of the homeless, most of the poor, most of the uneducated?
Yeah.
So it seems like by sheer numbers, white people are doing worse than black people. So what will black people have to complain about?
Here's my complaint. The discussion is racist.
How so?
If people are people, why are we separating them black and white? You see what I'm saying? So like the idea is, it's like, all right, the whole conversation comes from a place of we say black people are like this and white people are like this. That's disgusting. People are people. So if you shuffle us, you still get the same numbers. You see what I'm saying? It's not a. We want to create we want to build a conversation around the idea that there's something wrong with black culture and black people. That's the core of the conversation, and it's a racist idea.
Let me clarify my core. Right, my core is because I've said this many times. I have black friends. Black. It's like I'm knee deep in the black community. So my core isn't to separate. My core is to show that we aren't different. But I
don't think we are different.
Yeah, yes. But here's the thing, right? Just like we're going to touch the Nolan Walls thing, but just like this, the Rick Chow thing. This is what the black. I mean, again, this is the problem, right? The more vocal people of the black community, they're the ones that are pushing the differences, right? Because I've said this before. Why do I say that? Oh, black people only care, right? When, let's say, someone of another community, right, comes in. It's because you should care regardless, right? You should protest. You should protest when a black boy dies, even by another hand of a black man. You should march when when a black boy dies by another black man. You should riot. You should boycott when a black boy dies by a hand of another black man as well.
I disagree.
And that is why we will be different.
Because, well, all right.
No, I'm Vietnamese.
So, that was I don't think injustice is a problem when violence happens amongst our race, right? I don't think injustice is a problem. So it's not like if I shot someone the same color as me, that I have some advantage in the justice system where I'm going to get away with it for any reason. If I get caught and convicted, I'm thrown under the jail. If I see it happen, me personally, I hate it. So if I can, I'd be quick to help bring justice to the person who did the wrong. But this idea that the reason it's a big deal for us is something worth protesting when it comes from someone outside of our race, and we'll get to the Nolan Wells thing, is because and the Rick Child thing is because people who aren't of our race, who commit the same crimes, have an advantage in the justice system because they aren't our race. And it all leads back to the same reason we're even having this conversation. The core of the issue, this idea that's built into American society that there's something wrong with Black people.
Here's the thing, right?
And if you believe that, you're gonna build a picture that proves it. The entire system of how America works, that's what systemic racism is built overtly or subtly to disadvantage poor people and people of color. And then when it creates the problems, it points the spotlight on the people affected by the problems and says, what's their problem? And that's why we're having this discussion.
Let me say this, right? Why we're having the discussion is the uneven outrage. So this is a thing where, I mean, by sheer numbers, white people do make up the most population in our criminal system. They are the most in jail, right? So even they occupy that stat too. So this is a thing where we talked about this right just right now. You know that the Black community has the highest unsolved homicide rate, unsolved. Okay. So there are Black criminals, Black people not being arrested. Okay. Right? So really that shows you that they're not even being like put in jail and this shit, right?
It doesn't mean that there's just like, so there are unsolved murders in the Black community, a high amount, understood. Yes. Gang violence in certain areas, and a culture of not snitching because we don't trust police, and there's reasons for that too, right? I get it, but I don't know if it's fair to use that to say, so you guys are getting away with murder all the time.
No. See, that's the thing, right? I this is the thing. My haters don't really agree. I want to put it back take a step back, right? Me and you, we have talked about this. I want to take away the victimhood mindset of the Black community.
Gotta stop victimizing them then.
Who's victimizing them? I literally said it, right? The most in prison, white people, the most poor, the most homeless, most uneducated, like uneducated in the sense that the ones who have the least degree and attainment, white people, all white people. And this is the thing where I'm not, people who hate me keep on saying I'm trying to defend white people. No, I'm trying to make you think that Black people always think that they're at the bottom, but they think they're at the bottom because of the white man. You're not. You are at the bottom because of you. And then there was a point. I agree. I've said this also, that I will never discredit the past. There was a point where the powerful white man was putting everyone down, right? The poor, the Black, everyone, right? But particularly the Black, right? The Black people, the Black community. I don't discredit that. What I discredit is today, right? That victimhood must stop. That victimhood must stop, because that is my biggest goal, right? When I talk about the Black community, that is my biggest goal. Stop thinking you're victims. Stop. And that's the problem, right?
I don't know. I don't think I agree. I don't think that I agree.
And that's why I love you. Tell me why.
I think that most people believe Blacks are at the bottom because of, I don't want to just say because of the white man. Yeah. But because of American culture. So
what is American culture?
Country built on the back of slaves.
No.
It wasn't?
It wasn't.
Who built America?
Americans, white people. Now that doesn't mean. Again, see, this is the thing, right? It doesn't mean that the black community wasn't a big part of it, right? But you gotta say, right? Did you know? Let's hypothetically, right? Do another hypothetical. Okay.
I'm gonna explain it to you what I mean, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. If we were on an island, right? 10 white people, 2 black people. If you logically have to think, right? Logically have to think, who would you say majority built that island? 2 black people, 10 white people. Do you think that it's the 2 people that did majority of the work? Is that what your argument is?
If you were outside looking in, you probably think that. Yeah.
Why would you think that? By
But
sheer population doesn't even make sense.
you probably
By
think
sheer
that.
numbers.
No, that's what I'm saying. You probably think. No, I'm saying the other way.
Oh, you think that I would think that the 10 did it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because you didn't know that the 10 used the 2 to build everything and then cast them out and called them criminals.
But could you think that the 2 built everything? Could you? I mean, what would I mean? Again, I'm not. See, this is like it sounded extreme, but to say that 2 built the whole society is honestly it's disingenuous. I'm not saying that 2 didn't like have a big part or a part in it, but again, that doesn't make sense by sheer numbers alone, right? Now, I agree. Black people were a big part in building America. I don't disagree with that. But to say that they are number 1, that is disingenuous, right? Because to be honest, the black population was in every single part of America, right?
I don't think that's true.
There's plenty of states that don't even have a huge black population
now, but there's evidence to
but
show
you think before when the population was less?
There's evidence to show that Africans were here before white people.
No.
Yeah, there's plenty of evidence to show that they were in America before whites. They just weren't in any type of way trying to.
No, they were more. I've heard that. I mean, like I've heard that they were more in the Mexico or South America area.
There were African explorers. Well, this is the thing. African accomplishments, you don't learn about them. You don't know about them. Most of them have been erased from history, right? So like study your history, you'll find out that there were African explorers overseas away from Africa before Christopher Columbus discovered America.
Well, I mean, again,
sailed over to meet the natives who they thought were Indians. They were Africans here already, and people had a relationship with them, but they were in no way trying to like conquer the world or anything. They were just explorers and exchangers, and they would exchange and go back home, or they would plant and live and just become part of the community they're in. So you never get any of that history.
I mean, let's I mean, again, I'm not saying that I know all of history, so I'm not gonna fight you on it. I just think that it's not as substantiated. But again, I don't disagree that I don't know all of history. So,
but let's say that.
But still,
but we agree that we agree slavery happened, right?
We agree.
Okay, so if we know that it involved forced unpaid labor.
Okay.
Right?
Correct.
And that black humans were treated like livestock.
Correct.
Forced to work without pay. Families split apart, right? When they
land the plane. I agree with you in everything.
Here's my point. I'll review all of that to say the next stage. All right, so you end slavery, but being black is criminalized, and in pop culture. In the time immediately following slavery, blacks are characterized as lazy animals. Think about that. That's the picture that's put forward. So if you're a young white person in America post-slavery, right, your idea of what black people are lazy animals. But we know that they just got out of a situation where they were forced to do more work than anybody and not get paid for it. and now you don't get any credit for it, and then you get characterized as somebody who doesn't work and who isn't smart and isn't capable when you literally just finished doing smart, capable work. Do you know that? I'm gonna look up his name. Do you know the architect who designed? We live in Philadelphia. I don't know everybody watching is from where we are, but do you know the name of the architect who designed Ben Franklin Parkway in the Art Museum in the Franklin Institute?
No.
He also he designed the stairs going up the Art Museum. He designed parts of Duke University.
Mm-hmm.
He's a black architect. Did you know that?
No, that's amazing.
You know that he wasn't even allowed to go to the opening of his own designs?
I didn't know that.
Because he was a black man? So if that's the norm in society, then black accomplishment is erased. So yes, there is this idea that is built at the core of American culture that the black person is at the bottom. It's not. I don't feel like I'm a victim. I don't feel like I'm at the bottom. I feel like everyone thinks we're at the bottom. So the idea is you step outside and you get looked at like the dregs of society, right? But I know what we've contributed to American culture post-slavery is amazing. And there are plenty of black people who are well off, who are rich. There are plenty of black families that are together. There are black CEOs who are successful. That's the stuff that never gets highlighted. So the in pop culture is that we're at the bottom. It's not.
Here's the thing where I think it's. This is why I've said this before. I don't discredit the past, never once, right? I've never once discredited the past, but by your own admission, right? It's that the problem is being shackled to that past, because I think that is a lie. Black community is a big part of American culture. Basketball, football, rap, how you dress, how you act, right? I mean, like, it's a big part of American culture, right? Hell, it's so distinct. It's nothing like African culture, right? So it's intertwined in America. This is why I don't discredit the past, but the problem is that you need to focus on the here and now, right? This is the problem where it is 100% fact, right, that the black community is at the bottom, right? And it shouldn't, because there is plenty of example of black success, plenty of example of getting out of the mud and being one of the best ever, plenty of examples. But when I say it's the victimhood mindset, is that today, in the last, I think after Jim Crow, right? And again, I don't discredit the past. I really want to make that so obvious. But the problem is, there's a certain, just like I always like to give this analogy, right? So a lot of serial killers had a disgusting childhood, right? They've been, I don't know, R-worded, abused, you name it, right? So much disgusting. They've grown up having a disgusting past. That should not excuse them from now being an adult and harming others, killing, R-wording, torturing, whatever. So at a certain point, is that you don't discredit the past, how this certain serial killer grew up. You acknowledge it, you sympathize, you whatever. But at a certain point, once you reach a certain point in adulthood, I'm sorry, you must take care of it yourself. It cannot be excused. My mother did this to me. My dad did this to me. So you know what? I mean, like, sorry, I R-worded 100,000 women. I'm sorry. No one discredits that you have a terrible upbringing, but that should not be an excuse. You should have worked on yourself, made the best you can, because I'm sorry, right? When I give the examples of white people make the homeless, poor, blah 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 blah. It's that to show you that every human being, right, has their own sad story. Every human being on this earth has their own sad story. The problem is that you don't let it define you. I guarantee you, all the black CEOs, the black millionaires, black billionaires, because here's the thing, right? None of the black community like to acknowledge this, right? In America alone, we have more middle class, millionaire, billionaire, black people than all of Africa, right? And African population dwarfs American black people. Yet in America, black people are doing so much better than the motherland. I'm just showing you that is that yes, we have an ugly history, but we've made so much strive. And in my opinion, the continuous, right, shackle to the past does not push you to the future.
It's like we like to highlight the problems in the black community without ever giving credit for the work done. And we want to, and when we have discussions like this, we don't want to acknowledge, like you said, there are so many examples of black people coming up from out of the mud. Why'd they have to come up out of the mud? Why were they in the mud in the first place? Yeah, and we acknowledge that for other groups is what I'm saying.
What are you talking? That's disingenuous.
It's not true. Okay, so let's look up. How do I explain it? How much of your, like right now, successful white persons have built that by themselves out of the mud?
Do you know the majority of millionaires and billionaires are self-made?
Name them. I mean, all right. So I mean, I'm sure
Jeff Bezos was self-made. That's already
I know Jeff Bezos is the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah,
absolutely. Your president isn't self-made. He inherited a lot from it.
Again,
right?
I mean, it's like this is a thing where when I say majority, it doesn't mean that it's 100% all of them.
I know, but like, it's not like we're
well, okay. Well, we can both agree, right? One of the biggest American dream. I mean, all immigrants know it. It's to, have the opportunities, right? You're low income, raising your status, raising your financial status. Almost all immigrants know this, right? Mm-hmm. That shows you that is the American dream. Mm-hmm. It is disingenuous to think that, okay, while we're all in the mud, I'm sorry. This is the thing where I hate this mindset, right? We are given equal opportunities, not equal outcomes.
Not given equal.
We all can't be, children of millionaires. It just can't be.
Not given equal opportunities.
How so?
Well, see, but here's the problem. If I bring that up, you're going to say I'm tethered to the past for bringing it up.
Yes, you are.
It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Yet nothing that happened yesterday affects what happens today, is what you're saying.
Here's the thing, right? Remember what I said about the serial killer analogy. I'm not saying that it doesn't affect you. Well, what is this? What is the thing, right? The being brave isn't not having. It's not having fear. It's overcoming your fear. Right? And I love that quote. Right? Being brave isn't having no fear. It's overcoming your fear.
Black people have overcome more than anybody in America.
And I don't disagree with that. I mean, I don't disagree to that.
About overcoming fear. You know what I'm saying? Like we're past that. That's what I'm saying. Like you're telling me. I don't know. I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way because like.
And that's the thing, right? I think that's the problem. You are letting your emotions cloud your judgment.
I don't think you're seeing. I don't think.
Because here's the thing, right? Let me say this, right? Income wise, right? Income wise, you are better than the average black person.
Yeah,
Income wise, you're better than the average black person.
yeah,
But guess what? If people know your history, you didn't even complete college.
yeah. It's true.
So it's like at the end of the day, right? This is the problem. It's in the palm of your hands. I've heard this talking about so many times. Tell me what is stopping you from achieving what, let's say, an average white person would do, right? What is stopping you besides yourself?
But see,
Because if you can prove it, then I would agree that we don't have equal opportunity.
I don't complain personally about people stopping me,
And do it in general then.
but in general, let's go with your same analogy. But let's go with me. I make more than
Wait a minute. He was raised by both parents.
Dang. so and so here's my thing. Like, if I overcame some things to get to where I am, you should say, hey, great job for overcoming what you did to get to where you are. Instead, people say, well, if you can do it, why doesn't everybody else does it?
Yes.
That's not fair.
Why?
I accomplished something. If I climb out the mud to do it, I deserve credit for the hard work I did. It shouldn't be looked at as it's just normal and anybody could do it.
Oh, but this is the thing. It's like
so if you compare, if you take that and you make it like a blanket across culture, when black people are successful, it's like, well, see, you had every opportunity to be successful. They can do it, so why don't the rest of y'all do it? Instead of saying, oh, y'all had it really hard, and it's amazing that these people have climbed out of so much.
Why can't two things be true at once? Because here's the thing, right? I hate.
But it can be. Our culture, American culture, doesn't allow that. It's my
No. Black culture doesn't allow it.
This discussion doesn't allow it
because you don't allow it.
That's crazy.
This is the thing. Right? I'm sorry, my brother. I love you. You are suffering. I mean, no, I'm not saying you, right? Because I know that you're not, right? Your community is suffering from that exact victimhood mentality, right? You should. This is the problem, right? If this is the thing, right? It is a true fact. Asian community are outdoing white people, and that is why. If we see other people doing great, we want to do great too. We don't need to. Oh, you need to. Oh, why can't whatever you just? It's like all the shit you just said. No, it doesn't matter. We all need to do it, right? We don't all were born with a silver spoon in our mouth. It's like this is the thing where I always like to say it, right? I'm sorry, the world is unfair. It don't matter if you live in Africa, if you live in America, if you live in China, right? The world is unfair. Because this is the thing, right? Wait. By your logic, right? That means you think that in Africa things should be more even.
I don't think people understand that Africa is not as we get these pictures of parts of. First of all, it's a continent, not a country, right? It's a continent made of many countries. And just like in the United States and just like in North America, there are poor parts and there are rich parts. It's the same in Africa. Africa is not some rundown slum.
I know, but that proves it, right? How can in one country we blame racism and why we can't achieve to that? In another, we don't.
Racism, I blame racism for, I'm not meaning you personally, but I blame racism for your point of view.
What's my point of view?
That I'm a victim. It
comes out your mouth.
Hold on. That you think I'm a victim. That you think I'm a victim. That you think I'm at the bottom. That you think my community has all these problems. That you think we're just violent criminals.
No. Don't put word in my mouth. I don't think that.
Like I said, I'm not saying you personally.
Yeah. I don't. Let me say this. I hate to do it, but I'm going to defend white people too. I don't think white people think like that.
That's crazy.
But here's my proof, right? Here's my proof, right? If you think, right, in general, right, this is the problem, right? Because out of all these stages in American history, slavery, Jim Crow, can you 100% say if 100% of white people said no to it, do you think slavery or Jim Crow would have been abolished?
If white people said no to it.
If 100% white people said no to abolishing slavery and Jim Crow, do you think it would pass?
No.
Yes. So to think that majority of white people think black people are criminals is honestly a lie.
But we
even today, right? I'm not saying that, of course, there's stereotypes, prejudice, biases, of course. But let's be honest. We can look at the numbers alone, right? If white people thought black people were criminals, right? Personally, this is how, I mean, I'm not necessarily, it's a correlation or causation or whatever, but we would see that white on black crime would actually be higher than it is, in my opinion, right? But you don't. White people are not like, oh my God, this black person is a danger to me, I should delete him. It's not, right? So I don't see for me, I don't see the quantitative, the numbers or any kind of study to show that white people in general, at least 51% of white people, right, think black people are criminals. But let me clarify, what I think white people do think is that it's part of your culture, in the sense that you promote criminality, you don't hold each other accountable, you don't shame, right, the bad apples in your community.
What, like, all right, so like, think about that. Why have you ever looked at another community other than black people to ask them to ask them why don't they fix the problems in their community?
Do you know why?
What are you going to say? Because they don't have problems in their community?
No.
Why?
Because they blame others.
Who blames others?
This one, right? Let's continue. Let's continue the video, right?
All right, yeah, let's get to it.
And nothing has changed. That man was let off the case, and it just gets difficult. It gets difficult because, man, we as a people, if the world is not going to treat us differently, we are putting a.
That is why. That is why.
So what did he say? What did he say wrong? Explain.
We can't fuck with y'all because you don't fuck with us.
Okay.
He made the Asian community a monolith. If you look, and I actually just debated this with a commenter, right? You know, Asian people, they hate black people. Really? By numbers alone, did you know in, I believe, for, let's say, a decade, right? About a decade, black on Asian homicide is about 200,000. Did you know that Asian on black homicide is probably about under 90,000? So if I gave you those numbers, take out the race, who do you think hate who's more? So really, it's like, I think Asian people have more of a, a stance to say, oh, black people don't fuck with us, so we should boycott them. But they don't do that. So what go back to what we were just talking about, right? Wait, let me finish this. Let me land the plane first. So back to what I was saying is that the problem isn't, right? I said this before, uneven outrage. You only care about black lives when it involves other communities. But in numbers alone, it doesn't make sense, right? Because again, others communities aren't harming you to the same degree that your community is doing to yourself. Yet you are more outraged when other communities don't. And plus, they don't do it at such a high number, right? Like I said, Asian community, right? You can't say Asian people don't like black people, right? because the numbers don't really show it. The numbers don't show how much Asian people hate black people. No, let me be honest. Why do let's say that a man like Rick Chow was looking at the black kid with with a side eye? I'm sorry, it is the criminality of the community. I think it's I'm not, and I've said this before, right, about the Rick Chow case. I do think that he should have. I do think that he should have been in prison, right? I do think Rick Chow should have been arrested and he had prison time for it. But again, it's like when you only care about what's happening outside the community, you're not looking within the community.
Let me clarify something real quick. You just said it.
Mm-hmm.
Rick Chow, because of his viewpoint, because of how he viewed black people, already thought this kid was a criminal, right? Which would have motivated him to do what he did, even though the kid didn't do anything wrong. You just said that, hey, I'm sorry, black people are criminals enough so that he would think that way, right?
No, that's not what I said.
What did you say?
This is the thing. We have to understand stereotypes and biases are there. He was cautious, right? He's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to look at this because he might be it. But you got to also think, right? If, let's say hypothetically, Asian people think automatically black people are criminal, it doesn't make sense that any black person would even enter that shop. Right? Just let's hypothetically say, let's say I'll give you the hypothetical where all Asian people think black people are criminal. Why would you have Asian people, black people going into any Asian establishments? Because Asian people don't think like that. What Asian people think like is they're cautious, right? They believe in character. Because let's say the whole the Cyrus thing, right? It was proven that he did put stuff in his jacket. He just took it out and put it back, right? So it was proven that he took stuff, put it in his clothes, but he took it out and put it back, right? So I'm sorry, right? We could all agree that media or personal experiences can give us a bias, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, okay, we will 100% treat everyone the same, but we will be cautious of it.
So I mean, and so on one end, you have to talk in generality. So we're talking about the black community. This is the whole black community we're talking about. But on the other side, you have to say, well, hey, you can't say all Asian people hate all black people because that's talking in a big generality about everybody. That's like.
But where's the number? But where's the proof that all Asian? I mean, like even if we say general, right? Where's the proof that in general? That's what I'm saying.
I don't even think that's the issue. The issue is this is what Mike is talking about. If you have a business in my community and the money you make from my community helps you live, then you shouldn't have a mindset where I'm going to chase a kid down the street and I feel justified in shooting him in the back over something I think he took out my store. Like that is such an extreme level of if your child took something that didn't belong to them, what kind of punishment will you give them?
What kind of? I mean, I don't know. My child. If my child took something, yeah, probably ground them.
That is such a continent away from killing them, right?
Yeah, this is the thing, right? I never disagreed that yes, but you know, right? Rick Chow was the one who called police.
He's the first one to do that. This isn't like a thing that doesn't happen from time.
How many people do it? I gave you the numbers. Right? Our Asian on black versus black on Asian. The numbers are clear. Right? I mean, it's like it's a huge disparity.
I'm just trying to understand why we're justifying thinking about people that way. Because I think
I think okay. If let's say this, right? We do this all the time. If our little girl, right, your daughter was walking at night, would you not tell your daughter to be cautious of men walking at night?
Yeah.
Yes. Did you know that the percentage of men, right, that do violent crimes is about less than 1%? But that doesn't change that. You know what? We should be cautious. We should tell our daughters, the women in our life, to be cautious of men.
Cautious is not aggressively violent.
I said this, right? I don't disagree with the outcome. I said it. I think Rick Chow deserves prison time, right? But honestly, that is up to the justice system.
So
right?
And that's the problem. The
justice system disagree. No,
I know
but you also know that a black man defended him, right?
I know that we agree.
Yeah.
But my point is, you can. It's crazy that we both know that this guy should be in prison, right? And a jury thought that he was justified in shooting this kid. And now hold on. Remember Trayvon Martin? It's the same deal.
But it's just, you know that jury's made up of black people too?
How many black people were on Trayvon Martin's?
No, not Trayvon Martin. Rick Chow. He was defended by a black lawyer.
Okay.
The jury had black, jury members.
Okay.
Right. People said that the problem with the Rick Chow is because they did it. I think it was like first degree murder or whatever. Right. They should have done like, I don't know, manslaughter or something. So again, we're both on the same page. Our justice system is whack. Right. Our justice system is the problem. No one disagrees with that.
No, but if I say it, they're like, "Oh no, you've got a victimhood mentality."
No, that's not. No, see, that's not the victimhood mentality.
Something wrong.
That was not the victimhood mentality part.
Whatever happened, the outcome wasn't right, right?
Yes.
And it's not the first time that outcome has been the same. In fact, it's been a number of times when that kind of outcome in a similar situation has been, we release him basically because we feel like he was justified in thinking in the way he was.
But here's the thing where that's a little bit dishonest, because are you saying that there's no black cases where they were let off easy?
I'm not saying that there's
you can't necessarily like just automatically perceive race.
There is no automation in this. Remember that string that for like 3 years straight, like right through COVID, right past George Floyd, right? There was like a series of like high profile killings of, let me be clear about this, unarmed black people. And in a number of those cases, the perpetrator, whether they be a policeman or a citizen, got exonerated. Why? Because they were justified in fearing for their life, even though the person, man, sleeping woman, or child was unarmed. The only thing that made them the same is that the person that got killed was black. Why would you be all right? Why would an armed trained police officer be afraid of an unarmed man in their car who's explaining that they have a license to carry? So afraid, in fact, that you would kill him. Why would an Asian store owner be justified in chasing a kid down, even if let's say he did steal it and he had the item that he stole with him and ran down the street? Why would any person ever be justified in chasing them down the street and using lethal force on them, on a child who's unarmed?
He had a gun, right? The child had a gun.
The child had a gun.
Yeah.
They proved that.
Yes. He through social media, right? He also showed off he had a gun.
All right, I'm gonna pull up the details.
Yeah.
Because
And that was also one of the case, the reasoning why it helped Rick Chow, right? That was another point that helped Rick Chow's case
So,
because he had a gun.
so I still think it was up for debate because the the prosecution argued he was unarmed and frightened and running for his life. The defense argued that he allegedly pointed a handgun. But was there video of him ever pointing a handgun?
There wasn't video of the shooting at all, but they said that he had a gun, and he through social media he showed that he owned a gun. Again, that's what helped the Rick Chow's lawyer, right? Because they're showing that he I don't own a gun, but he had a gun with him, right? He had a gun.
Wasn't the kid? The kid was one shot in the back, two
Well,
far away.
The black lawyer said that he asked the people who helped. I want to know the clarification before. So it was at the back, but it was at a back where you were kind of turning, right? So that he gave him
a fleeing teenager once in the back.
Yes, but again, the black lawyer, he was able to say that it was turning, right towards. That's why again, this is what helped that case, right?
I mean, I get it. I get that. That's not my point. My point is,
but my point is this is. But again, I heard what you're talking about, like, but this is the thing, right? We can both say. We have problems in our justice system, kind of, a bit of a problem in our police system. I don't disagree with that, right? But to say that, because of police killings, because if we look at the raw numbers, right, police kill more white people than they do black people.
Okay, but that's not the issue I'm complaining about.
But you literally just talked about police killings.
Yeah, I'm talking about police being exonerated for the killing.
I agree to that too.
That's the problem.
But you think that they're not exonerated for killing of white people?
I know you agree, but I'm trying to get to the root of why it keeps happening. One.
But you use race instead of a flawed system, right?
Okay.
If you're talking about a flawed system, we're both on point. But right. If you bring up race, I'm going to say it's victimhood.
All right, so the system's flawed, right?
Yeah.
But if I say it,
no. If you point it out to black people, it's flawed for black people, then it's victimhood. If you say it's flawed for all people, I agree.
But that's
because if you make it about the black community, that is the problem, right? That is the problem.
We're having a discussion about the black community that I did not start.
I know. I'm saying this is the thing, right? This is the problem when I interject, right? When I talk about the black community, right? Because the black community do it way too much. You make it about race instead of making it about the flaws of our system, flaw of our country. That is the problem. That's the problem I'm making. It is not about race. It's about the flaws.
Racism is a big flaw in the system.
It's not.
That's the point I'm getting at. Listen,
racism isn't the flaw. I'm sorry, because if it's racism is the flaw, then black people will make up most of everything. They don't. White people do.
That's disingenuous.
How? They make up the sheer raw numbers.
When we started this whole conversation, I said that the problem isn't that black people are at the bottom or even that they think they're at the bottom. The problem is that American culture thinks they're at the bottom when they're not.
No.
Well, then that's where we disagree, because I think that American culture is tied to the past, and
prove it.
A false past. Like the propaganda used to criminalize black people, going all the way back to the Civil War, has permeated American society to the point where if an officer is at the core of it, The idea is if you see a black man, he's probably more capable of violence than someone who's not black. And people don't want to admit that they think that way. But the proof is in how many times black people, unarmed black people, are killed by people who say they were in fear of their lives. You have nothing to be afraid of from me. I'm not going to do anything to you. But the general, because we talk in generalities. The general consensus, especially in situations like this, is that the person who committed the killing was afraid of the person who got killed, or had an idea that the person who got killed was a criminal. Well, even in this instance, even in the Rick Child instance, right? Their argument was that the kid was going to kill Rick Child, so he had to kill him first. That is constantly the theme. And it always ends in a black person dead and somebody who was afraid of them. Everybody saying the justice system, let me put it that way, the justice system saying, well, you were justified in being afraid of them. And it happens, I think those situations happen disproportionately to black people. And that's the problem. So that's
how you say, how would you do disproportionately? Per capita?
So,
because I already gave you raw numbers, right?
All right.
White people are killed more by by police officers. White people are more by raw numbers, right?
I'm curious about, let's say we do it per capita or in percentages.
The only way you could do it is per capita, cool. Right? If you want to say, right, this is, I love this, right? This is why I love it. The only way to show the injustice, right, is per capita. Okay. About disproportionately.
Okay.
But here's your flaw. Here's the flaw in your argument, right? If you use per capita for that, you must use it for everything else. You cannot pick and choose when to use it, when to use logic, and when not to use logic. So I don't disagree that over policing, right, is shown through per capita. Mm-hmm. But per capita also shows you the high homicide rates in the black community. This is why they say 13% of the population is 50% of crime. It's homicide, not arrests, because the homicide, right? Because I take away the arrest rates because, correct, the exoneration is a thing.
Yeah, and isn't like exonerations for homicides, right? But like
no, but again, right? But this is we talked about this already. Mm-hmm. You can be exonerated for homicide. Doesn't mean that it still wasn't a black person.
Okay.
So it's police incompetence for arresting the wrong black person.
But we can't. But we don't know. But because we don't know who did it, we can't really.
No, because then that would defeat your argument of proximity, crime by proximity.
But I'm curious as to how often, let's say, a police officer or a citizen is exonerated for that kind of killing when it happens with white people as opposed to a black person.
I never looked that up.
The race, because
but we also
argue.
Let's say this, right?
It's not that it doesn't happen across the board. It's that so often the person who did it to a black person gets away with it because they said they were afraid.
But here's the thing, right? But we can also look at the numbers, right? Let's take away exoneration thing. The amount of white cops killing black people, right? It amounts to under 400.
Okay, but that's not my point.
No, but my point is, right? The numbers is not astronomical. When you let's say we say the actual black on black killings is like over 10,000. So we could take it's like we could still say let's minus the 400, like 400 for the 10,000 or whatever. It's still the numbers are high, right? So it's all about the numbers itself. That's what I'm focusing on, right? Okay. We could take away injustice, we could take away all these things, but we can't take away actual dead bodies, right? We can't take away actual dead bodies. We can't. Right. So we could subtract the dead bodies that police killing, and to be honest, the homicide rates, I don't think I could check it again, but it doesn't include police killings, right? It's criminal. It's criminal, not necessarily police killings. Plus, to be honest, right? I also looked at it. The majority of these police killings, right? Although yes, some do happen, majority is armed. Majority of them are armed, right? So,
And those I'm really not like.
yeah, but again, it's like I don't know. See, this is my thing is again, right? The black community likes to focus on the minority of the numbers, right? The smaller numbers. That doesn't make sense to me, right? You make a big deal when Asian kill black people, which is a small number. You make a big deal when white kill black, which is a small number. You make a big deal when cop kill black. That's a small number as well. But I'm not, and I've said this. I'm going to clarify. I'm not saying don't care about it. Correct. You want to protest. You want to boycott. Go for it. But it doesn't make sense to me, right? When you boycott one killing, and again, I'm hyperboling, right? I'm just giving an example. You protest one killing when it's Asian on black, but you don't really protest when it's 100 killing when it's black on black. And in my opinion, right? Which let's say hypothetically, right? Hypothetically, black people all over the world or all over America protest Asian on black killing, and they completely stop it, right? Because of their protests, the boycotts, whatever. No more Asian on black killing. Doesn't change the 100, right, of black on black.
That's not what was being protested.
Literally, they're saying that, you know what, we need to protect our black kid or black boys and girls. So black lives are the what's protesting.
So, but let me explain. Against injustice. See, there wouldn't think about it. There wouldn't be a protest if Rick Child got convicted. What would there be to protest?
Well, then what was the boycott? The boycott isn't. It isn't because of injustice. It's because of something Asia. This is the thing where, or maybe it would. Maybe it is because we don't have that result. What if that universe what it did? Would they still boycott? So okay, I'll probably take that back because I don't know of a world. Would they still boycott if it happened, right? But my thing is, right? My thing is, you only care about injustice when it involves other communities. Why do I say that, right? I say that in the numbers, the black community has the highest unsolved homicide rates. Isn't that not injustice?
So there's a difference between, like, all right, so like we know for a fact that Rick Child killed this child.
Yeah.
There's nothing there's no debate about that. So it's not an unsolved killing. We know who did it.
I agree. Right?
We just let them free. That's not the same as not knowing who did it. So like if in the black community there's a problem with, like, let's say I don't even want to say in the black community. I don't even like talking that way, but like let's say in my neighborhood there's a problem with drug dealers. Maybe there's a drug deal turf war, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a crew on this side and a crew on that side, and me and the rest of us in the community who aren't involved in that, we can beg and plead and protest, but we're not protesting the system. We're protesting. We have to get into these young men's minds and get them to not commit crime. That's a different problem. If somebody if a child gets killed and we don't know who did it, that sucks. And we can beg our community, we can beg the young people in our community to change their ways. We can look for the person who did it. But if you know who did it and you don't bring them to justice, that's a problem with the system. And it's and that's the thing that we notice happening when it's people from when it's non-black people killing black people. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's any. I don't think in any way anyone is okay with people of the same color killing each other. Absolutely not. I don't think it's right. Of course, it should be protested, but I can't go to the courthouse and protest it. They can't find who did it. If they can't find who did it, that's one problem. But if you know who did it and we don't bring them to justice, that's a different problem.
Now, again, it's a weird thing, right? I've said this that I on the surface, yes, I think Rick Chow deserves prison time, but again, it is our system. He was found not guilty by, it wasn't by a judge, it was by a jury,
I know.
included, black people, all types of people. So it's a weird thing, right? I'm not gonna harp on it because it's injustice when honestly it is our justice system working. Now it could be working, with flaws in it, right? So but my thing is that again, my problem is exactly that. I just don't think that it is still injustice when there's so many of your brothers and sisters are dying and you don't make enough of a stink out of it.
I don't think that's true that people aren't making a stink of it. That they aren't making a big deal out of it. It's just it's national news.
Again, I just feel like, it's funny that black people think that they want the mindset. I want to bring awareness when white people kill black people, but you don't want to bring awareness when black people kill black people.
Of course we do, but I don't.
No, not really, because again, you just said it, right? Not national news, not where. It's like you don't make. It's like you don't make it. It's like
It's not
you
national news.
don't.
They don't want it to be. They're just the national news is not going to cover.
Well, forget national news, right? We live in a social media age, right?
Local news will cover it.
We live in a social media age. It's not going viral. But that's the thing, right?
But it's a thing. But it's a thing that's not my problem. Nationally, people aren't concerned. People are not concerned about what happens in the black community, unless it gets out of the black community. They do not care.
Yeah, black people don't care.
No, not black people don't care. No, white people don't care. Asian people don't care.
Yeah, they don't care regardless.
Right. So
in any kind of news, in any kind of situation.
So
if white people kill white people, they don't care about that. Or if black people kill white people, they don't really care about that. I mean, I said it. I give you raw numbers, right? You don't see white people, Asian people protesting, boycotting, rioting when black people kill white people. And they kill. I'm sorry, right? Raw numbers. Black people kill white people and Asian people more than the reverse.
And that's
numbers.
And that's still a different situation because we're not talking about.
But it's a different mindset. That's what I'm talking about. That's the problem.
So if you're an Asian business in the black community, and you notice what you just pointed out, you can leave the black community.
Yeah.
So why haven't they?
What do you mean?
If, like, let's say this Rick Chow guy, he has a business in a black community, right?
He left it.
Okay, yeah. Now after he shot the kid, but if he fought that way, or if he knew that.
Come on, that's dishonest. We know that we both know that a lot of black people don't leave the black neighborhood until they have their comeuppance.
No,
it's not easy to leave. When you're impoverished yourself, it's not the easiest thing to just up and leave. So come on.
My point is, he was making his living there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, so there's what would you be boycotting if it were the other way around? You see what I'm saying? Like if black people, like you said, like 90, I don't know what the number was, but you said it's a way higher percentage of black people killing Asians than the other way around, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I were a black business in an Asian neighborhood and that were the case, I would understand them boycotting my business.
or what, or we do a march, or we riot, or we protest. I mean, like, there's other things, right? I
Right.
mean, like, during BLM, right? There's plenty of riots.
I mean, I think the most effective kind of protest ever is keeping your money to yourself.
I agree. I don't
That-
disagree.
that is a fantastic way to protest. But the way the situation is right now, the Asian community isn't spending money on black people and then needing to take it back because of black violence against Asians. You see what I'm saying? It's the other way around. It's different because you have a young man killed by an Asian man who we think was already thinking bad things about the black person in general, and we've been giving him our money. So they're saying, well, if that's how you think, I'm going to stop giving you my money.
Okay, well then that's fine. Then let's do it where you don't see this. It's, to be honest, at the end of the day, it's like,
I mean, we've talked about this before. Black people spend more money
yeah, they do.
than any other group of people, right? Like,
I think it's a detriment. I don't think it's a good thing, but
I don't disagree with you, but
that's how they have the most spending power of all
Yeah.
groups. It's
Yeah, but
ridiculous.
every once in a while, black people say, well, I'm not going to spend my money with you. And then it becomes a big deal. Remember the Target thing?
Well, I don't think that Target thing was like that big, much of an impact. But I'm going to say this, right? It's like, my thing is, I think
I'm sorry about that. We didn't get through the whole video.
No, okay. Let's keep watching the video.
My bad.
This is the thing. I think this is why I love talking to you. I'm so pissed with you, right? But it is what it is, right? But it's like, these are such smooth and I think really good conversations.
Positioned by a bigger master to be taught not to fuck with each other. So you, as the model minority, always see us as beneath you, and yet you need us because you could never put a store in the master class's neighborhood.
This is why. You know, this is why I hate the victimhood mentality, right? Because the victimhood mentality is an easy way to separate each other, right? Because to be a victim, you need the abuser. You need someone to villainize, right? You need someone to villainize. I already proved to you that by numbers alone, right? There are more Asian businesses in white communities, but the problem is that I just find this absolutely algorithm red. If I'm trash, I mean, you're all good not to have to watch, right? It's again, it's just this mindset that I just absolutely abhor, because you don't see that he has no perspective. It literally is my perspective. I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, whatever.
I don't see the comments.
Yeah.
On the different screens.
Well, let's continue. You see that mindset? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking against. Right? One, this is the thing, right? You believe in a master. Two, you see this mindset where, what's the difference, right? What's the difference if white people say this shit to you, right? In the sense that we make all black people a monolith, right? We make all people the same thing. It says like, oh, you know what? You're like, literally, you were talking against this, right? But he has no problem doing the same, because I showed you pure numbers, right? The black community, right? And again, it's still a small number, right? This is why I'm not even bothered by it. But by numbers alone, black community kill more Asian people than the reverse. Yet you don't see Asian content creators, any Asian whatever, saying, oh, you know what? We should hunt you down. Literally coming out of his mouth. The audacity to say something like that.
But he's not saying.
He literally just said that.
He just said that he was talking about Rick Child hunting down the child.
No.
That's what he was saying. Hold on. Like, go back.
No.
Go back and listen to what he said.
Finding you.
What he.
So, no, but look, fine. If he said Rick Chow, right, because he did that,
Uh-huh.
should the Asian people now find any black person who slights them, who hurts them, who kills them, and then let's say lynch them?
Maybe.
Should we be doing that?
No, I don't think that's what he was saying. I need to.
No. He just exactly said that. We should be hunting you. We should be finding you. Come on.
No, hold on. Let me.
You are.
Go
This is
back
the,
and play it for me one more time, and let me just
You
listen to
are.
what he said, because maybe I'm not hearing what you're hearing. I'm hearing something different.
If we
this is algorithm red. You are stupid, right? I don't know what you're thinking, right? I say stats, right? But when you are an idiot, it's hard to, like. First of all, it is true. The things I'm saying are actual stats, right? I mean, like, you are absolutely an idiot. But continue. What's your thoughts?
So do you hear what he's saying now? He's play it just a little bit longer, and then I'll
Go
tell
ahead.
you what I so his point is my point, that America thinks of black people as beneath. And
I don't know if I would say they think they're beneath them.
see, but what has him so frustrated is that time and time again, that's what shows. America thinks that black people are violent, or angry, or bad. And he says we live in a world where our American culture trains people to think of blacks that way. And so just like I explained to you, it results in the deaths of innocent people, and the killers using the excuse that I was scared of them. And there's no reason to be scared of this person other than their skin color. That causes a bigger problem. And what he's not saying that we should ever, like, get to the point where that we should do violence to bring attention to the matter. But what he is saying is that throughout history, that's what happens when a section of a culture is oppressed enough, they lash out in violence. I'm not about to do anything like that.
First of all,
Worry that will happen. That's what he said.
no. He said he would hunt the people down. And like I said, here's you are an idiot, not because you disagree with me, right? It's because you can look at these numbers yourself. I've said these numbers because I've looked it up. Right? Asian victims experienced roughly 192,000 incidents involving black offenders versus far fewer involving Asian offenders on black victims. 12,000. Do you see the disparity? It's even worse when the last time I said it. So really, no, you're an idiot, because you know what? How about, take the time to look at these information yourself. I took the time, right? If I'm saying, I'm telling you this, right? If I say numbers, anytime I've said numbers, I've actually looked it up. Right? Now, I can't give you exact numbers, exact sources, right? But I've looked it up. All right? So I took the time to educate myself. I'm not here to educate you. All right? That is why. Homicides, right? It's like you could do it in homicide victims too.
Now, this is just me asking. I'd have to. In fact, I'm gonna look that up too. Context how many of these violent incidents happen in or around a place of business?
What does that mean? I don't know. What do you mean?
So here's the only reason I asked, and I don't know the answer. I'm just asking.
Wait. P.S. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This other thing, you want to do homicide thing per year, right? Let's do homicide, right? And this is like, you know, it's about 40 per year, right? By others, about 23. And others include multiple people, right? American Indians, Native Americans, I mean Alaska Native, Hawaii. It's like include multiple different time, to make that number as big as possible, you include every single person that would fall under other. So literally, right? It outnumbers each other. So I just wanted to bring that up. But go. What do you mean?
So I own. I work at an auto shop,
Mhm.
and I manage an auto shop. Let's just if I manage a retail store in a community, right? You can expect at any retail store, any business in a community, one of the things you have to prepare yourself for is people of low income in that community may try to steal. They may try to rob. That may happen, right? So I'm just curious how many of those incidents happened at a place of business.
Probably a lot of them.
Okay.
At least for the, in my opinion, at least for the Asian numbers, probably anytime an Asian person would do something to a black person, it's usually during a business,
and vice versa, right? Like I don't think
I mean, to be honest, how do you think
out in the streets hunting Asians? Like, is that
well? I mean, I don't think it's hunting Asians, but maybe you interact with Asian people out in the streets. I don't think I don't think Asian people are going after black people in the streets or even interacting with black people in the streets like that.
Really? Yeah, me neither.
But to have a number as high as that, it's not just businesses, because I don't think Asian people are going into black hair braiding businesses to interact with black people. I don't
know, but I'm saying the other way around. If you own a business in the neighborhood and a retail business, yes, there is a threat of robbery and of violence at that business, and it may happen more than once. It may happen one day, and then weeks or months later it'll happen again. Someone else will do it. So I mean, that does exist. That's all I'm saying. I'm just trying to add context to it. It doesn't justify it at all, but
yeah.
But
all right,
okay, go ahead.
Son, I was out this store and you track him down like an animal. People can only take so much.
Did you say what's the stats on Asian crime in Asia? Are you stupid? It's 100%. This is why you're an idiot.
Well, but I.
What do you think is like? Oh my God! You know what? That's only 1%. Asian on black crime is 100. It's like, this is why. I mean, God, it's like
people commit crime where they live. So
yeah,
that's his point. Most crime is committed by low income people.
But like
how you can afford.
This is why that is the proof, right? When Asian people live in the poverty communities, you're seeing the numbers.
So the amount of, but my argument would be it's not a color.
I'm not saying it's a color thing, right?
I'm not saying that.
I say it's a culture thing.
I say it's a poor thing.
Well, they're both poor. So why aren't Asian people committing the same amount of crimes or a high amount of incidents with black people?
You're the business owner. So in a poor community, the crime against a business is going to happen. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying.
Why is it such a disparity?
I'm not.
And you know what? Here's the thing, right? Maybe I'm not disagreeing with you, right? I'm not disagreeing with you, but then that shows you that it's not illogical. It's not illogical for someone to be cautious because of that.
But it's wrong to chase someone 100 feet out of the store.
I agree. I don't disagree with that.
That's the point.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that part. I don't disagree with that part.
Right?
I've always questioned that, so I don't disagree with that part.
So I mean, that would be my argument. If it happened in the store, I'd still be upset. but if
You're why we are boycotting. Great. Boycott. Right? To be honest, save your money. Right? I'm not gonna cry about it. But guess what? All right? Asian people will still do better than you. So I don't care if you boycott or not.
Right, and it's not even to play devil's advocate. This is something to I've seen in
You know, one of the things I loved, right? And I said this before. You know, when we were growing up, like as kids, you see a whole lot of Asian stereotypes in social media and entertainment. But to be honest, as I was growing up, I saw very little of it. I mean, I have no studies on it, right? I have no studies on it, but I believe that is why Asian people did not want to participate. We did not want to participate in the stereotyping, the propaganda that was put onto us. So you couldn't find an Asian person to do some of these roles or all these things. I that's what I personally believe, right? So I'm giving I don't have a study, so I'm going to say that, right? I don't know study, no nothing, but I believe that Asian people just did not want to participate in the propaganda, right? So that's I was bringing up. But what's your thoughts already?
So here's what I agree with what they're saying. I did
Wait, before I continue, right? I want to say this, right? Algorithm, you are stupid. You've literally said nothing to counteract anything I said. All right. I don't even think you understand what bigotry is. Okay. So, yeah, you have an IQ of probably 1. Right. Nothing you said is actually fought any of my arguments. Continue, my brother.
the discussion they're having right now is basically what I was saying.
Is it?
Yeah, he's saying he just finished saying it.
No, I like what he said.
I know you're like, I'm gonna get more to that because I know what you're talking about. The way black people are viewed makes people who aren't black afraid of us. Now, do black people bear some responsibility in that? To a degree, yeah. But
I do want to talk about this. I think today black people bear 100% or 99%.
I think that's wrong too.
Let's continue,
because we talked about how integrated into American culture black culture is, how big a part of American culture black culture is, right? The people who make the most money off of that.
Wait. I'm sorry. Algorithm. Every Wednesday night, call-in show. You have the guts, bring it on. All right? You probably have no balls to debate me. Every Wednesday, call-in show. If you have the guts, bring it on. I ain't scared of nobody. All right? I'm sorry. I love this. I love this man. All right? My big brother. I mean, my brother. But no one has debated me and won, in my opinion, right? I've debated plenty of black men, right? Plenty of black people, and I'm sorry that they have lost every time. I'm giving him the respect that he deserves because he's my friend, but bring it on. I will destroy you. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was talking about the way black people are viewed in America makes people who are non-black afraid of us. We talked about like, yes, there are some reasons for that. There's been like gang violence and rap and pop culture, and it's bled into like movies sometimes. Although I think some people missed.
Wait, I'm sorry again. The link Wednesday night, every Wednesday night. There's no link today, right? I'm sorry, right? Because this is a conversation between me and him, right? I created this chat because I wanted to have a chat with him. You can hate watch me, hate follow me, right? If you want to, or schedule it every Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night, you can call in. Today's not Wednesday. I'm sorry, my brother. All right, it seems like you don't understand your days. All right, but well, he can't come up now. I'm sorry, right? Because I'm literally having a conversation. So I mean, if you can't be patient, you're uncivilized. I'm sorry. Sorry, continue.
Pop culture in America, the way it is, there's all right, for instance, there's the hip hop that I like, right? I don't know, Jid, Kendrick, Killer Mike. Uh, there's
I
there's
like Killer Mike before this, but now I have to question
there's,
him. So
there's the hip hop that that gets consumed by a lot of people outside of the black community. And you can look up the numbers. They make white people spend a lot of money on hip hop.
I don't disagree.
Their favorite artists aren't necessarily the ones who are putting out positive messages or or explaining, you know what I mean? Their favorite artists might be the ones that rap more and think more about, you know, drugs, that promote the image that makes people afraid of us. But because that image makes money, that image continues to get promoted. It's not by and not by the black, because if we try to put something positive out there for even our own youth, again, this is what I'm talking about. The
But I think that's kind of disingenuous, right? All the artists you named, guess what? Any fame they have or notoriety or whatever, it's also white people buying their stuff.
I'm not saying it's not.
Kendrick is probably like just like, and I don't know, like a King Von. Well, Kendrick also got a lot of his record sales because of white people as well. So
I'm not saying that he didn't, and I'm not arguing that white people don't buy good hip hop. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that the image that appears to make the most money for your corporations are also the ones that make us look the worst. And because of that, even when we try to do positives, the positives don't get highlighted like the negatives do. And my case in point is, if you talk to somebody about hip hop, most of the time they don't understand it. Outside of the black community, what someone will take away from music by Biggie, who I admit raps some violent stuff. I will not argue that he didn't rap about violence a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between, you can take away from it, hey, guns are cool and I should deal drugs and shoot people. But Biggie wasn't saying that. Biggie was saying, hey, my life has been hard.
He was talking about life, yes.
Right. Storytelling. Right. But that's not what's going to get highlighted. In a you know what I mean? Like, a movie comes out that talks about violence in the black neighborhoods. I'll watch it and say, I get that they're telling a story about why their life is hard and how things could be different if people were different. But a lot of people will take away from that, oh, guns and drugs are cool, or black people like to shoot people, or, you know, violence. So we still get looked at like monsters. That's the biggest complaint. It's not.
My problem is that I can agree that at a certain time in our history, black people had no control over their public image, right? But the problem is, it's today that's the issue.
But
right, because again, for every one, Kendrick Lamar, I'm pretty sure people can name 10 or 20 people like, King Von, right, or whoever else, right? That's the issue. And the thing is that it's not just, oh, white people are buying it. No, it's because black people are pushing it, in the sense that you are the ones who are being pushed. Like, it's like when I brought up the whole Asian thing, right? Is that we are taking accountability. We're not going to participate, right? We're not going to participate. We don't want to. This is why, in my opinion, I didn't grow up with pretty much any Asian celebrities. No one's like ching chonging anywhere, right? But the problem is that the black community had no problem to, and I get it, right? Like, oh, you want to make money, but here's the thing: you didn't have to make money that way. You didn't have to.
How are we gonna make money?
Well, how did Asian people make money?
So
They didn't participate in the same things the black community did, but because you got to look at totality, right? The results. So Asian people didn't participate in the same way the black community did. Yet today they are outdoing even the white community. They didn't enslave themselves to the white system in a sense, right? Like being like, oh, the Jewish white music industry push out like black this terrible black music or this other shit. Well, I don't disagree that behind the closed door there's a white man pushing it, but at the end of the day, you didn't be pushed if you didn't put yourself in that position, right? That is the thing. That's why I said, 90% it's black people who are controlling, because you are doing it yourself. You are okay. I want to sign this contract, and okay, the white man said I should rap about killing. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Why are you obeying it? Because you want their money? So
I don't think they should, but you make money from what people will pay you for, right? So what will people pay young blacks for?
But again, why are Asian people, right, doing it differently? And wait, before you want to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This right here, right? This another stupidity, right? I looked up the thing. I'm not saying that Asian people didn't get loans, right? But if you look at the numbers, right? If you look at the numbers with Asian businesses, it wasn't predominantly because they got loans from the government, right? That was about 17%. Majority of money for Asian businesses are from their own family, from their own community. This is another, right? This another mindset is what is a poison, right? It's because it's community. You know why today, right? I hear a lot of people is like, oh, we need to circulate our money ourselves. Why weren't you thinking about that themselves? Why weren't you thinking about that before?
They
right?
were. There are so many instances of black people trying to establish.
I don't disagree. But
that's what happened. I don't want to sound like a victim.
But that's not everywhere, right? You can't make because I don't.
It was, and history gets erased.
No. Because I can tell you, I literally can tell you right one. I can tell you one. There was I have this video, right? Oh, I'm gonna show you. I did this video recently because I just loved it, but I gotta look for it. Well, continue what you're saying. I'm gonna look for the video.
I know we've talked about Tulsa before.
Yeah.
Tulsa is not the only example of a successful black community torn down by those in power. It's one of many, actually, right? So we know that on multiple occasions, black people have over and over again tried to establish their own communities and their own wealth to pass down to the next generation. And we know what's happened time and time again in America when they've done that. That got to count for something. I'm not saying that.
I don't disagree, but let me show you this.
Did you know that today there's almost no Chinese people living in DC's Chinatown? And today the Chinese population in DC's Chinatown is so low that it's below 300. And this leads us to an interesting question. How did a massive community suddenly vanish? And to understand this, we need to go back to 1997. And this was when the city opened the MCI Center, today known as the Capital One Arena. And before this, DC's Chinatown was a self-sustaining ecosystem. It was a place with specialized pharmacies, grocery stores, as well as Chinese grandmothers play mahjong. But as property values skyrocketed, landlords knew that they can charge these tenants much more. And local Chinese grocery stores that were there for nearly 30 years no longer can afford the rent. But it was easy for a corporation, for example Chipotle, to afford. And one by one, these businesses that have been there for decades were eventually phased out. And the city even tried to hide this loss by mandating that these companies must have Chinese signs in front of their store. But the problem was none of these companies were Chinese, and it became a weird weird way for the city to keep Chinatown going. And you might be wondering what happened to the thousands of Chinese families. Well, many of them moved over to Rockville, Maryland, and this was the opposite of DC. It has space as well as stability. And today, the Asian population makes up roughly 22% of Rockville's population. And many of these individuals are also enormously wealthy, with a median income being over $128,000 for the average family. And this massive buying power has allowed stores like 99 Ranch, as well as Great Wall, to have a footing there. And it's really what remains when it comes to Chinese culture, as well as food in Northern Virginia.
This is the thing.
So my thing is that I've said this so many times. I don't discredit the past. But one of the things I love about America is that perseverance is American spirit, right? Perseverance is that, yes, when you are put down, when you are, when the man is pushing you down, you will still get back up, right? So here's a great example. An Asian community that was pretty much phased out, pretty much, kicked out of their own community. They left that community and created their own community somewhere else. And now, right, they grew that community to be even better than before. I'm just saying that, right? This is a thing where instead of the Asian community blaming the white man or the government or anyone else, they say, fuck it. I'm going to keep on doing it. One of the things why they say that Asian immigrants are doing better than most people, did you know that they say it's mindset, right? It's the drive, right? It's the drive that these Asian immigrants have. It's not because, white people love these Asian people more. No, because you know that during the same time that Black Jim Crow and all that shit, right? Asian people were pushed into race-specific professions. Laundromats, Chinese stores, nail salons, all these kind of typical racial stereotype jobs. Guess what? They were pushed into it, right? The majority of Asian people were pushed into these types of jobs. But you know what? They say, fuck it. I'm going to make it work. Right? Don't blame the white man. Don't blame other people. Right? And I think that's the mentality of the Asian community. Right? You're going to push us down. We're going to keep on fighting it. And then we circulate that money within the community. We help each other, right? My mom got her business because my aunt loaned her money. Interest-free, loaned her money. And that's how the majority of Asian businesses came about, right? You got a loan from a family member, right? That's how these Asian businesses work out. And that's what I'm talking about, right? It's the mentality, it's the culture.
But I guess my counter is, all right, so first, I think that's awesome. What you just showed in that video, what you're talking about. I would like to see more Black people do that.
That's why I don't mind the whole boycotting thing, right? To be honest, I've said this in videos. Go for it, right? Use your money how you want to use it. My problem is why do it after when it involves other races? You should have, like, the same content creator said, "Oh my God, let's boycott these Asian businesses and circulate our money." You should have said that well before. It's like, no, we should, like, before Rick Chow is like, "Oh, we need to circulate, our money." Like, those shit should go viral. Those shit should be talked about 1,000 times more. But the views I see is like, "Oh, we need to boycott Asian businesses," and then tagline, "Support Black businesses." No, you should have supported Black businesses before the whole shit. No one's complaining. This is the thing with the whole boycott thing. No one's complaining how you spend your money, right? One is that you made Asian people out to be a monolith, which so many Black people constantly say, "Oh, why you can't make the Black community a monolith, yet you don't mind doing the same thing to Asian people." And two, you only cared about Black businesses, right? Because of video context. I'm not saying that they didn't, but video context, they only cared after something, because of an Asian man did something.
Black people didn't come to America as family units. That's the first thing. They came. They were broke up. Their families were broke up from the door. their families were broke up again. Like you kind of got it together during the Jim Crow era, but that's when black families tried to build black communities that got torn down by American government over and over again. The black family, we've talked about what happened to we've talked about how over policing and the war on drugs has taken fathers and broke up black families during the 90s. So when you have black families that are together, you have success. Where you have black communities that are allowed to grow without interference, you have success. But throughout history, that has been fought against. So yes, I would encourage black people to do more of what the Asian community does, how you handle your money, how you guys work together. But you're able to do it because you were able to come over here as family units. And that's amazing. But that's not something that was afforded black people. And if I say it, it's historical fact. It's provable. But if I say it, I'm just being a victim. And I'm not someone who suffered from that. I'm fortunate to come from a family unit. And we didn't inherit much, but we still help each other out. And I'm doing all right because of it. And so is my family. And the other thing about it is that my situation is not rare and uncommon. But from the outside looking in, people who aren't black think it is. They think we're all a bunch of guys who don't have our fathers, and we're making babies, and don't have family units, and we don't have any organization, and we're all going to go to jail. But I manage an auto shop, and basically everybody who works there are successful black men, and nobody cares about that. They only care when it's something bad. The perception is the problem. That's what we argue against. That's what we're fighting against. That's what we're calling racism.
Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem is the misconceptions. It's the problem with it, right? It's like it isn't Asian people coming here with families. It's Asian people coming here with family ideology. You even said it, and maybe you heard me say it, because during Jim Crow, one of their worst times, the black community had the highest marriage rates, lowest divorce rates, right? Abortion rates were low, right? Single mother rates were low. Family unit were at its strongest. Oh, you know what? Maybe we could. Maybe another time, right? I want to say this. Maybe you'll find this controversial. The patriarchy, feminism killed the black community. During Jim Crow and before, the patriarchy was the leadership. That was when the black community were at its strongest. Now the matriarchy has killed the black community. Black women in charge, in leadership of the black community, has killed the black community. But that's a kind of side thing, because I want to throw that out, because that's another belief I have. But what I'm saying is that I showed you that even though, right, Asian community was pushed down, they still persevere. I don't believe that, because of black struggles, right, that all black people just gave up on family. I don't believe that. Right? But it's a clear example, right? It's a clear example that during their worst time, they were at their strongest in family unit. Now, right, highest divorce rates, lowest marriage rates, highest single mother rates, highest abortion rates. I'm sorry. All right. It is, you can't, this is the problem why I say it's victimhood. Why I say why it's shackled to the past. Were you not seeing that during their worst time, they were at their strongest? I'm not saying that they were better economically, but they were growing economically. All right. Now the black community is shrinking economically. Yes, they can spend more, but it's because they're spending nonstop. Right? That's not because their economic power is growing. No, it's because they're just spending out more than they earn.
So and there are reasons for that, but I don't I don't really want to talk about that. I want to just say, how do I word it? You just pointed out that time and time again, persons from your community overcome struggles. When I point out the struggle of Black people in America, it's to show that despite that, they've overcome it. Because really, I'm not saying I'm not saying that everything's perfect. I'm not saying that there aren't problems in the Black community. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that really, by all rights, if we were as bad as people say we were, we shouldn't even be here anymore. We should be extinct. I think it is an absolute miracle that should be admired that you have so many successful Black persons in America, that you still have that Black people still have such an influence on American culture, despite all the things that they've have to dealt with. That's why the history is important, because despite that, we do, and please don't discount this. I came up with the poems of Maya Angelou talking about, she says, still I rise, right? We make up so many of America's great poets and writers and musicians and inventors, lawmakers. Why isn't that what's highlighted? Why is it? That's the racism part to me. Because
this is the thing where it's because look at this, right? Why is that highlighted? It's because the community doesn't want to highlight it.
That's
the community rather highlights the victims than the success, right? You have, this is the thing, right? You have, I said this, right? You have probably won't get to it today, right? Because this is why I fucking, like, I hate you and I love you, right? Because our conversation can go on forever, right? And that's why I love it. Because we probably won't get to the Nolan Wells thing.
No, we got to
right?
talk about it.
So this is just Asian on Black thing. But this is what I love, right? I love this. This is why I love these kind of conversations, because I think it's so deep. But this is the problem, right? You can see millions upon millions, literally, I asked AI, right? I asked AI to look up how many times was Nolan Wells talked about. They literally said it was millions, right? Millions of times.
Okay.
But on the same token, I guarantee you, Black excellence wasn't talked about as much, right? Because a lot of times people love to point out the bad shit more than do the good shit. And the problem I have with that is that, I'm sorry, today, thanks to social media, this is why I say it's about 100% on Black people. You have the power of your own voice, right? You are your own content creator. You're your own news outlet. You're your own, like, I don't know, like, consume. It's like literally you control what people see, what people hear. You have, there's no longer like a Jewish person behind some kind of content creator, right? No, it's you controlling your own voice, you putting out the own messages, right? And that's the thing I'm saying, right? When the Asian people felt like, oh no, I don't want the stereotype with us in all these movies, all these TV shows. We, again, I'm not no studies, right? So please, understand. We took it out. We didn't allow it to happen. We didn't participate. Yet, why are Asian people able to do it, but Black people can't? And now they did it. They don't want to do. This is the thing where I believe in accountability. You didn't want to do it because you wanted that money, and now you're upset because this is what happens. I'm sorry. You are your own, and again, this is the theme of my thing. You are your own victims. You are your own enemy. You are your own problem.
Living in entertainment and pop culture,
huh?
Because Black people made a living in entertainment and pop culture. They're the reason.
I think because Black people made a living participating in the stereotypes, participating in the bad marketing and what all this stuff, right? Because here's the thing, right? Where's the Cosby shows? Where's the Family Matters? Right? Where's the thing? But no, where we have power or whatever other, gangster or crime or degenerate.
Well,
not-
again, I mean,
come on.
so you're saying there's no positive black television?
I'm not saying, because I don't watch everything, so I'm not saying there isn't any. I'm saying that why is it in today, when you have the power, right? You do have technically the power to create your own thing. Why isn't it all positive? Why isn't every single show Cosby-esque, which is kind of terrible, but whatever.
Yeah.
Family Matter-esque.
That would be terrible. Like, it's not every Asian thing, isn't that? Every white thing.
You don't see Asian media like that. You don't see Asian stuff like that. But I'm more saying that, okay, when you want to control the narrative, you do it, right? When you want to control the narrative, you do it. You don't, like, the only, this is the thing, right? The only thing Asian you see is imported. It's not American made. It's Korea made, China made, straight from like the mainland of all these other countries.
Okay.
It's not made in America.
But I'm from here. This is my home. I'm from America.
I'm saying that they're controlling it, right? What they want to put out, they're putting out. No one is telling them, oh, no, you need to be more Asian stereotype. You need to be more American Asian stereotype. No. What we want to put out, we're putting out. This is the image of Asian people we want to put out. So, same thing, Black Americans, this is the image that you want to put out to the rest of the world. All right. So if people are viewing you as gangsters today, or not as family oriented, or like, you know what, this is the thing where I'm one of the biggest haters of Tyler Perry. I really hate his stuff because he promotes broken families, abusive Black men, ghetto ass people. I'm sorry, I hate his shit.
I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of most of Tyler Perry's work.
But he's one of the biggest Black content creators, Black entertainment. And literally, his thing is always stereotypes of the community. I'm telling you, who consumes them is honestly the community. So, but that's what I'm saying, right? The community controls their narrative today.
But hold on. He's not the only like Black creative. Spike Lee is a generational talent filmmaker, and his movies, while they highlight problems in American society and Black society, they also push for positive positive solutions. They put people in a positive light, and he is responsible for the careers of like Denzel Washington, Sam Jackson, right? But here's my thing. We would rather talk about how bad Tyler Perry is than how good Spike Lee has been.
But to be honest, like every one Spike Lee movie, I mean, Tyler Perry makes 3 or 5.
We'd rather talk about how he makes because he's cheap stuff, right? So he can make but we'd rather talk about his stuff than talk about how successful Ryan Coogler has been in his career.
Well, I mean, to be honest, no, Ron Coogler is pretty hot right now.
He is. So what I wish would happen here.
Now I'm gonna think about, we gotta end this soon so we could talk about other stuff. Now you just brought that up. I want your opinion, but
so what I wish would happen would be, Tyler Perry can make whatever he wants to make, whether I like it or not. And I'm not saying that he's a bad dude, because he actually does a lot for the Black community.
I'm not saying that.
I don't like what he puts out. I agree with that. But I wish that they could all do whatever they wanted, because white people make whatever they want.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
But I wish when we were talking about the community, we would talk more about the good examples than the bad, because there are enough good examples to talk about. If you talked about it, if you highlighted it, you realize there were more good than bad. Your viewpoint on the Black community would change. You'd be like, oh wow, it's pretty incredible what you guys have accomplished, as opposed to, Why can't you guys get over this hump or that hump? You see what I'm saying? And that's what I want to hear your thoughts. But that's what's frustrating to black people. That's what's frustrating to me. However, Mike expressed it, that's what's frustrating to him. He's like, there's all this good, but here's the bad, and that's all y'all want. And that's all y'all think about. So we're looked at as monsters, as people to be afraid of, as criminals, as stupid, as not family people, when the opposite is true in the majority of cases.
Here's the problem with that, right? Now, I want you to see if you can see this hypocrisy. Because in general, I'm not saying you specifically, the black community do the same thing to white people. You judge white people by just the worst. I literally point out, I'm sorry, right? As much as you hate it, there will be no Spike Lee if the atrocities that the white people didn't happen. There will be no black millionaires, there will be no black success if the atrocities didn't happen. But it's human nature to think about the bad more than the good. Because I guess the bad is more exciting, right? But again, we like no community is. This is the thing, right? I want to, if you can take away anything from this show, is that this is what I want to promote. We are not that different. So why I say these things about the black community is like, look at it. You are being hypocrites. You are literally turning into the people you say you hate, right? You're turning into the very people, right? You are hating white people because of their skin tone. You are demonizing white people because of the bad. You're like, I look up the stat. Only 2% of white people own slaves during that time. 2%.
I've heard that before. That's weird. So, because only 2% of white people own slaves, like what does that mean?
It means that we blame America.
America, first of all, America made it legal, right? First of all, one. Two, were 2% of black people slaves?
No, not 2%.
All of them. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But
our entire
but
community.
all white people didn't have slaves. But you blame white people in general.
Here's what happened. So we always talk about slavery. Let's say slavery ended and then things were okay. You would not have these problems. We wouldn't even be having these discussions. Slavery didn't end and everything was okay. That didn't happen. First, one.
But it's disingenuous.
Here's what happened. Slavery was declared illegal after the North won the Civil War. Most slaves didn't find out about it. It took 2 years after that for the country to.
Well, because it was the North. The South didn't bring. Why would the South be promoting that shit?
Exactly. And here's the other thing about that. Why was the South allowed to continue? You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's because we both know they just finished a war. You have to continue a war to fix that shit.
So because what's happened now is that even though slavery was ended, the people who were unhappy about slavery ending, their propaganda is what shaped the next century. The ideas they put out about black people led to more laws being that. There were so many injustices after slavery. Slavery is like the origin story, right? There are so many injustices leading up to today that slavery is just like this much of the story anymore, right? Jim Crow wasn't just like a footnote in American history. It was literally blacks like it. My parents lived in Jim Crow. Your parents were alive during Jim Crow.
But
it was
your parents. I mean, like,
right. So,
but Jim Crow was a Southern thing.
No.
It was.
Jim Crow happened in the North. Don't think it didn't happen in the North. It wasn't as bad.
I don't think
It
so.
wasn't as bad, but segregation, blacks were segregated from whites everywhere.
Well,
They started to fix that first in the North. But think about it. You said blacks and whites can't go to the same schools. They can't live in the same areas. They can't drink from the same fountains. They can't buy the same things. They can't loan the same things.
but
In every situation where they're separate, one side got the best and the other side got the scraps, right? In every situation, in every instance, the American government did that. So forget about 2% of people owning slaves in the 17 and 1800s. We're talking about the 1960s, right? And we had to march and fight to end that. It wasn't that they evolved and realized, oh, we were doing something wrong, we should change it. We had to fight for that. So that's amazing, right?
you know what? You know what? Some black people were saying that was terrible.
Well,
The integration actually hurted the black community.
because of what followed that. White people in America, American culture, was not happy with black people having basic human rights. So we suffered even we continue.
What? Like what? No, I think it's like when the money wasn't circulating in the black community anymore. Now it's being spread to other communities. That would probably been the problem.
It's because when we were separate and like when we were separate and didn't have to deal with each other, then we wouldn't have to deal with each other's viewpoint of us, right? If we were completely separate, right, and the white community left the black community alone, then you'd have Seneca Village still. You'd have Black Wall Street. You'd have Rosewood, because those black communities would have been left alone, right? And they would have grown and thrived, and now you'd have more. My parents would have more to hand down to me. It didn't happen. When we integrated, the people who weren't happy about it, or the people who still didn't like black people, or the people who saw an opportunity to take advantage of it and make money off of blacks, took without giving. It wasn't an equal exchange. So, I mean, think about
segregation was better off.
So I mean, maybe eventually it would have been. I don't know if in America that would have been allowed, but our ire towards our system is that it was built to benefit the people at the top, who have been and are still mostly white, right?
Well, sure. This is the thing where I just it's again, I think it's a little bit disingenuous when in a country where it's predominantly white people will be at the top and white people at the bottom. It's just how it is.
Of course, our problem is, all right, because we'll talk in circles about it, but it's like obstacles were placed in front of the black community.
I don't disagree, right? I definitely agree, right? They were racial obstacles, 100%, right?
If we haven't gotten over all of them, why isn't that understandable? The conversation isn't, it's amazing that they've got over so many hurdles.
Yes.
The conversation is
no, the conversation is why you it should be amazing that you
hurdles.
It should be amazing that you got over these hurdles.
It is amazing that we got over those hurdles.
But it's like you don't recognize that you got over these hurdles. You recognize that you still talk about slavery, still talk about Jim Crow.
No, that's the thing. We aren't talking about slavery.
We talk about white supremacy, we talk about racism all the time. Social media, guys. This is what I want to preface this. I'm strictly talking about social media. On real life, no one gives a shit. And day to day, no one's like crying about the white man.
Most of the time, but then every once in a while, you have a Tiki Torch March. You have January insurrection. You have
no, but listen, it's everyone's right to protest, we shouldn't riot, but I mean, every group riots. BLM was that millions of millions of dollars of property damage. Every group riots.
I wouldn't talk.
Every group protests too. I mean, like the Tiki Torch thing, and like I don't agree to it, but like this is the thing where I had this conversation with the viewers. Like, why can't white people do what they want to do? In the sense that if they're proud of their white heritage, so fucking what?
No, hold on, because that what they did there, that wasn't saying. It's a difference between being proud of your own heritage and being intentionally exclusory, right? Like if I'm proud of where I came from, I'm not saying that I'm better than you in any way, right? But when they like that the Proud Boys, the Ku Klux Klan, they're not.
The Proud Boys, I looked it up. They also include black members of other people, minorities are part of the Proud Boys as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that, like, I'll preface this, right? If any group says that they can be proud of their race, but if they are targeting other race, then I condemn that 100%. Right? I will condemn that to the cows come home. One of the things why I love about America is its diversity. Right? Even though this is why I talk the shit I talk. I don't want it to be our weakness. Right? I don't want diversity to be our weakness. But in today's day and age, right? In 2026, it feels like it's that. It feels like it's that. And I don't want that.
When a conversation about racism comes up or gets started or goes viral, it's not because somebody black started it.
This is the problem, right? I think you should not think about racism at all.
But that's the thing. We don't, or we try not to. It keeps getting
no. That's not. I don't think so, right? Because when it's an Asian crime against a black person, automatically it goes to racism. When it's a crime against a white person towards a black person, it automatically, and this is by the black community, they categorize it, or in their mind, in their voices, in their content, it's racism. In my opinion, it's just interactions, right? Bad interactions, right? Because I 100%, I will always denounce Asian people do not hate black people.
I know that.
I know. I'm just saying in general. Yeah. It's not racism, right? It's not racism. 100%. No one has proven to me, right? Audience wise, has proven to me it's actually racism. I don't believe today, right? I'm not saying there's no one's racist, right? So if you say that, oh, I hate this person because of their color, you are 100% racist. But I don't believe that every single of these interactions, it's automatically racism. But
and most of them, it's not hate, it's fear.
I don't think that's racist. If you fear someone, that's not racism.
I disagree.
It's not.
Because if I fear you because of what I think about your color, then it's racist.
So do you think? No. Do you think I gave you that analogy, right? The daughter analogy. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's sexist?
If
we tell our daughters, right, to be cautious of men, do you believe that's sexist? I mean, you have to say yes then. You see again, I want to talk to you in the way of logic, right?
There's a difference.
What? What's the difference?
The power dynamic.
You think men are more powerful than women?
Absolutely.
So women's rights mean nothing nowadays?
No.
Are you talking about strength dynamic?
I'm talking, yeah. If a woman's walking down the street and a man's walking down the street, whether they interact or not, in most cases, which one is more powerful?
Okay. Go with that dynamic. I don't disagree with you. Mm-hmm. What is the power between an Asian man and a black man?
In this instance, in the Rick Chow instance, it's the fact that he could shoot a black person and not be convicted.
No. Like that, we're talking about the end result, right? Because people weren't saying that. Oh, this is the thing. People weren't saying that our justice system is racist. They're saying Asian people, right? Again, it is logical that since he's on the stand, he should defend himself. I don't discount him for defending himself in the legal system, right? They're saying Asian people. That's the thing. They're not saying our justice system is racist. They weren't pointing the finger at their justice system. They were pointing a finger, right? Just like see, you hear Killer Mike. He pointed his finger at the Asian people, at the Asian person, not at our justice system.
But I'm getting to it. Because the justice system still plays a part in that.
Well, I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm saying he pointed at the person, at the people.
But it's the first of all,
Asian people don't like, if you look at it, black people have more political power than the Asian community, right? Asian people don't even there's not that many Asian people in political power or any kind of power in America. That is a fact. That's a visible fact we can see.
It's about perception. Our justice system, our American law gives the power to those who.
Are you saying they give powers to Asian people?
Listen, no. Hold on. Gives the power when it comes when it in an instance where here's my point, and it's a point you're not going to agree with me, but it's a point that's been made before. I think it's a fact about American culture. He wouldn't have got away with it if it were a white kid.
What do you mean? If he killed a white kid?
Yeah, and it wouldn't be as big a deal if it were an Asian kid.
If he killed an Asian kid,
he killed him, yeah, right. Would you make it? Would anybody make any noise about that?
Or would anyone make it? No one would make a noise about it. You're right.
It happened to a black kid, right? And here's what gives him power. He can say, "I was afraid," and people will act as if that's justification.
But I mean, but this is the again, it's hypothetical because that's not true. I mean, it didn't happen. But it's like right? It's the black community made it a big deal, right? Because they publicized, they pushed
they make noise about that because
they made it not. But that's the context I'm saying, right? We gave two contexts, right? If it was an Asian kid that died, would Asian people make noise about it? They wouldn't. Right? They wouldn't really make noise about it. Now, if it was a white person that died, I mean, would white people make noise about it? I don't really think so either.
That's about whether they would make noise about it or not. I think the argument that I was afraid only works in this instance.
I mean, like if the kid had a gun,
in another instance. In this instance, it works.
So you think? If he killed a white kid, or no? If you think he killed a white kid or an Asian kid, he would have gotten in jail?
Absolutely. They would have said, "Why'd you hurt that kid?"
Because he had a gun.
It's
like you think that if they use the exact same narrative, right? Take out the black, the kid had a gun, the white kid or Asian kid showed off he had a gun, all that shit. You think they can't use the same defense?
I don't think it would have worked. Here, look, think.
I don't.
Okay, it's the same reason. It's the same reason. At its core, it's the same reason why black women get worse treatment in hospitals.
I know that.
And it's the same reason why more blacks are tried as adults, because they're looked at as men. That's at the core of the core of all of that is this idea that
I don't disagree. I know about the medical. I know,
and that's what's frustrating because I'm just a regular person. We're exactly the same.
No. I know about this is the thing, right? What I'm saying is that, and again, nothing you say I don't already know, right? I know about this is a problem with so many people who go against me. They think, oh, you don't know nothing about black people. I know fucking a lot. But the problem is that I go about it where I don't disagree about the past. I don't disagree about the injustice. I don't disagree about the perceptions. I disagree with holding on to it. I disagree with making it as an excuse. Because at the end of the day, how I look at it is that you will never succeed, right? If you see that, oh, you know what, I can't do it because of that. I can't do it because of that. I don't think you will ever succeed because, like I said, right, one of the key things, right, and I've said this before, right, even though Jim Crow and all that stuff, in 1 to 2 generations, it's not like Asian people had a huge head start or had a head start at all compared to the black community, right? They didn't really have a head start, right? So in 1 to 2 generations, they are doing better than the white community in general, right? And we can also do this, right? We could take out like the best of the best of Asian people, even the refugees, the sponsorships, right? They're still doing better or equal to white people. So in my brain, right, I'm trying to figure out, okay, why are Asian people doing better than black people? I'm trying to figure out why. I don't believe it's racism. I believe it's mindset. I believe it's culture. I believe it's, you know, personality in a sense, right? Where why isn't there a huge, and you know what? Maybe we can both agree to this, right? I think one of the worst things to happen to the black community is them being disassociated with religion. Religion was such a strong foundation for the black community, where that's where they had a strong, they married, had kids in a marriage, didn't have so many kids out of wedlock, had a strong moral foundation, right? So it's so much like Asian people didn't necessarily have that, but they had the family culture, family mindset. Religion gave the black community that, right? Religion gave the black community those, basis. But over time, the black community really stopped being religious, right? Or at least have a strong foundation in religion, right? And that's what helped them contained, I'm sorry, the degeneracy, the criminality, the bad shit, right? Because you would shame, the degenerates, the whores and the whatever. You would shame them. Today, it's just part of the shit.
That's
right. So
that's like, man, that's another deep discussion we should have.
I love this shit. This is why I love talking to you. This is why I'm pissed about you, right? I'm telling you, like, our conversation can go on for miles, but
Yeah.
I want to give you the last word on this, and I want to at least go into a little bit of geeky stuff, and then we'll end.
Okay.
So I want to give you the last word.
Well, thank you, Dan. My the core of my argument and my belief is that I'm opposed to the idea that things are as bad in the black community as people think they are. I don't think it is. I think people think it is, and that's why it keeps being a discussion when it's not. I don't think that everything's perfect, but I don't think everything's perfect for anybody. I think that black people in general, you'll get a community of good people who have overcome a lot to get where they are now and can make improvements, but we are not criminals, we are not monsters, and I don't think we should be thought of as such. But historically we are. I think the past plays a lot into that, but I don't think that's black people's fault. I think that the viewpoint that black people are problematic is the problem, and it's so ingrained in American culture that I don't think it's ever going to go away.
I gave you the last word, so I want to end on that. I mean, this is the thing where I would say this, right? I could say a lot, but I mean, this is why I wish you would. I wish you would enter the realm of social media, right? Because this is the thing where I've always said this. I respect you a lot. You are a man of character, right? So this is the thing where this is the problem, right? I think there should be more quality black voices. This is why I always wanted you to be on this shit, right? But you're just a. But okay, whatever. So let's get on a little bit. So that is our. What's your thought? We talked about this, right?
Uh-huh.
There is a lot of talk about the new Black Panther.
Okay.
Now I want to preface this, right? One of the thoughts is I want to know what's your thoughts on him being the new Black Panther. Two, a lot of black people are not liking it that he is not a African. He's not a Black American, right? So, what's your thoughts on that? Where people don't like him being, doing that, and what's your thoughts on him in general?
I'm honestly excited about the pick because I think the guy is a good actor.
So you think he's a good choice?
Yeah, I think he's a good choice for Black Panther. I don't have a problem with it, but I do understand where the pushback against, I guess, British African actors playing Black Americans comes from.
I don't. Why does Idris Elba never get that kind of heat? Everyone loves him.
Yeah, because he's never been problematic. And because
no one knows this kid. So how's he been problematic?
He's that's good. That's good. I mean, maybe there's still time, but it hasn't happened. But all right, so I guess wow, Idris Elba, that's interesting that you bring him up. He played one of the blackest, he got famous playing one of the blackest roles ever. I don't know if you've ever seen The Wire, but
I know The Wire. I've never seen it.
He played Stringer Bell in The Wire for 3 seasons, and The Wire is like top tier when it comes to like not just black culture because it covers a lot, but his character and what's in the show about black culture, he was a big part of it. Like so.
Yeah, I mean, I hear no one ever complains if he gets a role.
And a lot of people didn't know he was British for a long time.
Yeah,
they didn't even know.
Which is, this is like. That's why I think it's dishonest.
But I won't call it a trend, but the instances of this was before all of that. Idris Elba got into American acting before instances of British African celebrities not understanding the black plight or speaking ill of African Americans. But then benefiting off of playing our heroes, are those that we admire. So like, I think when you and I talked about it briefly, I mentioned the actress from Wicked, who's been in but she's on more than one occasion has said and has been closely associated with people outside of black culture who talk ill of black culture, and not just like, oh, they have a not just like, not like you, like they have an opinion that's different. They've said some nasty things. Like,
really?
Yeah. Like compared us to apes or
really?
Yeah. If I look,
that doesn't make sense. You guys are black too.
It doesn't make exactly, and that's when the pushback against.
What's weird thing? I just saw this TikTok, right? Where I think Chinese people went to Thailand, and the Thailand security was going like this to Chinese people. What the fuck is that? That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any
sense. It's like that's a universal racist towards Asian people.
Yeah,
it's like I can never understand. I can never understand people that. It's not because it's a difference between black Americans to black British. It's just black people. That racist remark is just Asian people. It's not like, oh, it's specific for Chinese people. No, they say that for all Asian people. It's like, that's so stupid.
Why would you do that, right?
I was like, that doesn't make sense. It's like the low IQ shit right there.
So that's where the pushback comes from.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they did that.
And then
at least that wasn't viral or anything. At least not on anything I know.
Not too much. I mean, I had to look it up. I had to find
Oh.
out about it. It wasn't like super in your face, but when I was trying to figure out Cynthia Riva, I like her as an actress. But when I was looking up and I came across like tweets and stuff talking about, you know, I'm cool off of her or this or that. And I had to look into why. And I was like, oh, she did this. She said that. She's friends with this person who talked about us this way. And it's weird too, because then you come over to the States and you benefit from playing Black Americans on television. Like if you have a low opinion of us, but you're still good, you have such a low opinion of us, but you're going to make your living off of portraying us on TV. It's kind of insulting. So that's where the pushback comes from. Now, the actor is David Johnson, I think his name is.
I think so.
Who
But
got
then it's like it's so weird that why you clump everyone together then? This is again
Well,
this goes back to what we were talking about before.
She's the biggest example that I could think of. She's not the only example.
But
There's another actor, and they're good actors. David Olayowo, I can't remember what it was he did or said before he played Martin Luther King in Selma.
oh,
But it's like it's happened on multiple occasions. And it's like after so many times, the Black American community is going to be like, hey, listen, like we're kind of cool off of y'all. Y'all don't even like us, but y'all are making money off of us. That's the problem. You don't like us, but you're making money off of us. Why we shouldn't be okay with that. Now, that said, I'm not saying that's how I think, but I'm just saying that's the general thought behind the pushback. Now, David Johnson hasn't done anything wrong, and I think he's a good actor. So I'm looking forward to seeing him play Black Panther. But I know where it comes from. That's all.
You know, okay, then let's move on to this one. I wanted to talk about this one for a little bit because we were just talking about this.
Okay.
And I think this is like I'm wondering about it too, right? So I kind of want to know your thoughts on it.
Okay. Excuse
The
me.
biggest mistake.
Hold on, I'm coming right back. I'm right back.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Supergirl.
Okay.
Okay, two clips I want us to talk about.
Okay.
Let's talk. What do you thought about this one?
The biggest mistake the MCU ever made wasn't the Marvels. It wasn't Ant-Man 3. It wasn't even bad CGI. The biggest mistake the MCU made was losing the plan after Endgame. Let me explain. So, before Endgame, almost every movie felt like it mattered. Even if a film wasn't your favorite, you knew it was building towards something bigger. There was a direction. Every post-credit scene had fans talking, not like this one, that one, or this one. After Endgame, it started to feel different. We got great projects like Spider-Man No Way Home, Deadpool and Wolverine, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and now Spider-Man Brand New Day, which looks like to be one of their greatest wins ever. So this isn't me saying everything after Endgame has been bad. The problem is that the universe stopped feeling connected. It just was really disjointed and kind of felt like a mess. Kang was introduced, then pivoted away from. The multiverse became confusing, to say the least. Characters disappeared for years, and it felt like Marvel was reacting instead of leading. And maybe that's why fans became less invested, not because there was too many movies or TV shows, but because they didn't know what they were building toward. Now it seems like Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios have course corrected, because with Spider-Man Brand New Day, Doomsday, and Secret Wars, it finally feels like we have a destination again for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But that's just my 2 cents.
We were talking about this.
Yeah.
We were talking about this heavily.
I agree 100%. I think like when Endgame is like, it felt like, I know it's all happened in the movies, some of it. Have they started the TV shows yet? The TV shows came after, right?
Yeah, it came after.
It's WandaVision. That was after. Okay.
Yeah, it was after.
The Endgame felt like, I compare it to a season or series finale of a TV show. Not because it's small. It's super cinematic, but from Iron Man to Endgame, it's like 3 seasons of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Mm-hmm,
and you have to watch it all.
mm-hmm,
Like you wouldn't, I would never tell you if you never saw Game of Thrones. I would not tell you to start in season 4. That wouldn't make any sense. You want to see the whole story. Now I understand one, especially with the TV shows, Marvel wanted to get people introduced. They say, hey, you don't have to watch it all. You can jump in now. That's a mistake because that's like saying, hey, you can start at season 4. You can't. You need to watch the whole thing. And if you've been watching the whole thing, you get frustrated when it doesn't matter anymore.
Mm.
You expect the previous episode to lead into the new episode to lead into the next episode. But these were just random episodes.
Yeah, and because they made it pointless.
Yeah, and that makes it
There's
pointless.
no strength to it. There's no. It's like this. We're literally talking about this, right? This is why I the only gripe I have with or not the only, but one of the biggest gripe I have with Spider-Man: Brand New Day is that although it's a good movie, it just didn't have enough connection, and it should have connected everything, and it should have tell a story about the future. And yes, I mean, spoilers. I mean, if you're watching now, you're crazy. Is that Jean Grey is awesome, but I really think that the cherry on the cake would have been the word mutants. That would have been a big, and again, I think it's simple, right? But it would have been a big push of what to come, mutants, right? Because again, saying people with powers, so what? That's the Marvel universe. Plenty of people have powers, but not every person has a power is a mutant. That is the importance, right? They're a distinct category, distinct group of people. And
Yeah.
I just felt like Spider-Man was so weak in that. But they are. We talk about this.
Mutations.
Did they say mutation? I guess they did.
Yeah, but they did it. So
But everything is a mutation. Spider-Man is a mutation. Hulk is a mutation. It's like, seriously, it's not distinct.
now the
That's
only
the
thing I
problem.
will say in defense, because I really like Brand New Day.
But you said you were going to sit on it. What's your thoughts? Is that is it still what was the grade you gave it before? Did you give it a grade?
Did I give it a grade? I can't remember if I gave it. I don't know if I try to rank it among Spider-Mans. I still think
I know I think you said it was the best Spider-Man you
yeah,
had.
it's still the best Spider-Man. I think this one to defend in its defense, it's this felt like a reboot to me. This felt like them saying, okay, we have to
I agree.
Yeah. So this
It felt like I was talking to my sister too. It felt like this was the origin story.
yeah.
But it's like the fourth movie in. Come on.
Maybe they could have done more, but they are setting up things that is going to pay off. I don't know if it's going to pay off in the next 2 movies because I don't know if Doomsday, maybe after Secret Wars, because we get Doomsday and Secret Wars, and then maybe do we get New Mutants or
No.
yes we get do we get X-Men? I don't know what we get after that. We won't get.
I think X-Men won't be a thing until 28.
Yeah. So it's going to be a while.
Yeah.
So they've set up a few things in here. You honestly, if they hit you with like an end credit scene like they had been with the other ones and then didn't pay it off till 2028, people might be frustrated.
But this end credit scene should have led to Avengers Doomsday.
Doomsday.
That is what it should do.
I
The
think
whole thing in space, I don't know
if
maybe it's gonna be something, but it's like, come on.
I don't know from what I know about the comics, and I've read comics, but I'm not like the I don't know the most about it. But I don't know if does Spider-Man have I think in Secret Wars, Spider-Man has a lot to do, but I don't know if he's gonna have much to do in Doomsday.
I don't know. I don't think the trailer doesn't show that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It's like
I don't know if he's gonna be in it. He's gotta be in it, right? But
I think he's gonna be in it.
Okay.
But the problem is how big is he going to be in it?
right.
Right?
I don't know.
So I don't really know.
I don't know. So I don't know. I feel you that this still didn't feel like that first phase of Marvel where even the lower tier Marvel movies, like some of those floor movies, still felt like a part of a bigger story. This one didn't have the same punch as those when it came to feeling like a bigger story. But I see how it's setting up. They're setting up a new story, and I think we're gonna look back on it like not exactly like the first Iron Man, but we're gonna look back on it and be like, oh yeah, they did set up some stuff that's going on.
My problem is that you gotta think, right? I mean, with all the things they're having, you're not gonna have a Spider-Man until God forbid, probably 29 or 30. So really, it's like I don't know.
We'll
Okay.
see, man. But yeah, I hear you. We won't get another Spider-Man movie till.
Yeah, it's like okay. Let's end out on like your thoughts on DC.
Supergirl is now one of the biggest comic book movie flops of all time. Like, it is real bad. Let's take a look. Here we go. The biggest comic book movie flops of all time. And freaking Supergirl is at the bottom. Like, you see it. You're looking at it. Supergirl is below Fury of the Gods, Morbius, and the Marvels. Okay? Like, this is what I'm looking at.
You know what? I look at these numbers. The problem, I mean, again, yeah, these movies probably won't. I didn't watch any of these, so they probably won't. I mean, I didn't want it. But if the budgets were better, these are actually decent numbers.
Yeah.
Besides for Supergirl, right? I think these two would have been decent numbers if these movies actually had, lower budgets.
So
that is crazy. Now,
no, you can go ahead and play it.
I didn't absolutely love Supergirl, but like I said a few times already, I didn't think it was nearly as bad as people made it out to be. I thought it was okay. I thought it was fine. I did not think it was Morbius bad, Fury of the Gods bad, the Marvels bad. Like this is bro, 126 million. Like this is like lifetime gross in its theatrical run for all these movies. All right, like if that wasn't apparent already. That's what these numbers represent, the lifetime theatrical gross of these films. Supergirl is expected to lose around $200 million. Now, look, it doesn't matter whether you like this movie or hated this movie. The fact of the matter is it flopped pretty damn hard, and it's only the second theatrical outing for the DCU. That's not a good...
So what I wanted to talk about, because I saw, I did another video, right, of a creator said, comparing Marvel's future with DC's future. One guy said that he sees DC future as brighter and more potential. Well, I disagree with that. I think that's ridiculous because, again, we're seeing already Marvel, their new phase, which is, now starting, is outshining, DC by mile, right? And they're going to introduce new characters, X-Men, Ghost Rider, all these plus existing stuff, right? And to be honest, even though Superman did okay, I mean, it did good. It didn't make $1 billion good, but it did okay. And honestly, the only thing they have is Batman, and there's no sight of when they will make Batman a movie, right? So there's no plans for that. So I want to know what's your thoughts already on the DC universe.
I think there are plans for Batman, but they're not clear because there's still another Batman, and I don't think they figured out yet what they're going to do.
Then that makes it worse. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I still think DC's future is bright. I haven't seen Supergirl, but what I've heard about that movie is kind of what that guy said. Like it was all right. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't like flop bad. I don't know. Maybe people weren't interested. I really don't know what to say about Supergirl. I don't know what happened.
I think it was such a stupid thing, right? To put Supergirl as your second movie. I'm sorry. As much as it might be tired, your big three should be your first 3 movies. Marvel proved that formula. Should have been either Wonder Woman or Batman. 100%. That should have been the next movie.
Now here's problems. Here are problems with that, and it's funny because I think Marvel the last phase of Marvel that didn't go so well suffered from problems that we don't see on this side. although we might know a little bit about it. Like, I'll get back to DC in a second. Chadwick Boseman died.
Yeah.
They have plans for him, right? Jonathan Majors got in legal trouble.
Oh,
They had big plans for him. That fell through.
well, that's
Crushing,
why I hated. That's why I hated what Marvel did, because literally because of that one marble, that one domino,
Mhm.
literally destroyed their whole thing.
Yeah. It was crushing to them. So they had to try and work around that stuff, and it caused them problems. DC is early. First one is early. They've only had there's 2 movies. Their third movie, which I am going to see, it's a weird step. Clayface, I don't know, but like,
How would you see that?
I'm
A
gonna see
Batman villain without Batman? It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't seem to make sense. But here's what they are dealing with, right? There's already a Batman in progress. He's got one movie out that was really good, another one coming, and the director said it's his own thing. 2 concurrent Batmans can be confusing. Not to mention, it wasn't that long ago that we just had Ben Affleck and the Snyderverse, which people are still kind of in love with. So there's some carryover from the last thing that hasn't gone away. There's a new thing that can confuse you because you want to do a Batman movie, but somebody else is doing a Batman movie.
It's their fault. Everything's their fault. I mean, like,
and the last Wonder Woman sucked so bad, which is not James Gunn's fault, but it sucked. So maybe Warner Brothers is like, we don't know if we can make a move with Wonder Woman. So they've got some difficulty. They do have some things they have to work out. I'll say this though. As fond as I am of Marvel, especially that first phase and everything they accomplished up to Endgame, remember, there are still a number of those movies that are like,
what, the first phase?
Total flops. But yeah, there's some.
But no, you can see that's why the
People go back in. I like the first Captain America. A lot of people. I'm not saying that they were terrible.
To be honest, I liked all the first. I like the Thor. I like Captain America. Because we gotta put it in context, right? They were the first.
They were.
It was the start of it. This is like DC Universe's second stint.
It is their second stint, but their first stint was tough. And because it was so tough, they're starting their second stint in a bad position because now they've got a lot going on. That's not all. All I'm saying is not all James Gunn's fault, and they just got stuff to work out.
Why would you see their future as being okay? If I had to tell you which one is brighter, would you say DC or Marvel?
Brighter?
Like there's a whole lot more. Okay,
I would say DC. And the reason I would isn't because I think Marvel is going to fail. I think we're going to like what's coming up, but they've set a bar so high, and we are holding them to that, right?
No, that's true. That's true.
If they don't reach Endgame levels, like I'm willing to forgive them if they can get close, but we're not gonna be like, well, it was good, so I'm happy. We're gonna be like, it was good, but you know what I mean? Now here's the thing with DC. They can course correct. And I think historically, DC has been better on TV than Marvel has.
Cartoon. The cartoons are better.
Right. But I think that's going to carry over to, here's where I'm getting at. I think live action is going to be fantastic. I've enjoyed Peacemaker, which is just okay. It's good. I think Lanterns is going to be incredible. And I think that's going to be the real start that's going to be that's going to get people drawn into the DCEU. I think Lanterns.
Because like they're going to do Jimmy Olsen. They're going to do Clayface.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. How is that even like, it's just, I don't.
I think Gunn has a plan. I think
I'm just
got to work out. But Lanterns is.
I do like. I mean, I've seen little clips.
Yeah.
I'm very on the fence of it because I love the Green Lanterns. Right,
Yeah.
I love the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
They're my second favorite thing in the DC universe. Right, Batman, then the Green Lanterns. But the problem is that I think they're doing it. I mean, the clips I've seen, there's almost no special effects.
Well,
So
that,
I don't
I don't think,
see
well, that's
how they're
not
gonna go about it.
even though it's going to be a gritty story. I think they're just they're not trying to show their hand. That's all. But
Could be.
I'll say
I'm
this.
scared that they're gonna do too grounded, right? It's like too gritty, too grounded. Like, oh, it's like, I don't know, some kind of just
One of my favorite, I'm trying to think, is he absolutely my favorite TV writer? My two favorite TV writers are Donald Glover and Damon Lindelof. Damon
Who's the other guy?
Damon Lindelof, Donald Glover did Atlanta and some other stuff.
I know.
But Damon Lindelof did, well, he did Lost. I know people didn't like the ending. I love the show. He did
Oh,
The Leftovers. He
yeah,
did Watchmen.
yeah.
He's also written comics.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
wrote
yeah. No, okay, now I know who you are. Yeah, now,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
He's the showrunner for Lanterns.
Oh,
That's
is
why I'm
he?
so excited for it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's why they're
okay.
hiding their hand too, because he writes mysterious, twisty stuff, and I think Lanterns is going to be that. So now, if Lanterns does suck, now I'm changing my opinion. Now
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Yeah, you probably put in a lot of weight on the Lanterns,
Yeah.
and I definitely agree with your take on what the high expectations for Marvel.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that the at least what I see that DC has planned, I just don't see that potential, right?
Yeah.
I don't. And what I've seen again, just of I mean, again, yeah, that's the ability if they could change their mind. But what I've seen so far, there's nothing that gives me a spark of hope for for the DC universe, right? Spider-Man was decent, right? And Avengers Doomsday looks to be really good.
It does.
And again, the project they have, right? They're already announcing X-Men, right? And you're seeing good projects being lined up. Okay. What's your thoughts with Ryan Gosling being Ghost Rider?
I think it's a really good choice.
I do think so.
Yeah, he's a good actor. He can be funny too, which which I think not
That's the thing. He has
very
been
funny,
comedic.
but all Marvel characters have an element of humor to it that I think he can handle. So I'm a little bit excited about that. Yeah, I thought it was a good choice.
Yeah.
And plus his star power. Like they were
He does, that's the thing. People were like harping on him, right? But it's like right now he's hot.
Yeah.
It's like I think Project Hail Mary just did a wonder for him.
Yeah.
So I think he's a good character for Ghost Rider. And we talked about this before. I think one of the biggest missteps with Marvel is that why don't you introduce characters in all these shows, all these movies? Right? Blade should be a co-star, 100%.
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Which they got to figure that out.
This is the thing where I'm sorry. This is the problem where we have a lot of black geeks, right, complaining that Marvel is canceling all these things. Well, protest that. Okay, why don't you include these characters in the existing projects? Right? I'm sorry. Like, I get it. You want leading black characters, but there could be leeways, right? It's like I don't know. I just think that would have been a smarter thing to do. All right, so.
Well, I mean, I'm still excited to see what Marvel's got coming, but they really gotta they really gotta sit down and like make a plan and find a way to stick to it, man. It's not easy.
I hope so too. I really, because like we both agree. I think the Jonathan Major thing has literally just like effed up every single Marvel plan, and I was like, wow, they really tied everything to them. I was like, I think the guy would have been huge. I think he would have been megastar huge.
He would have been. I think I 100% agree. He would have been.
And we talked about this like early shows. That's crazy.
Yeah. He would and if they were able to connect it right, it could have been. Man, I guess we'll never know.
I think that's I saw like a Marvel theory, right? A Marvel theory if the Jonathan Major didn't happen, you know, all the Jonathan Major variants would have been in all these other movies, like Fantastic Four, all these other TV shows. His variants would have been all that, and that would have been exactly what I talked about.
Yeah,
It says that connect all these shit, right? He would have been, you know, in the TVA shit with Loki. He would have been in all, like, that's exactly what I was talking about. Connect these fucking shows and movies, right? Now that would have been amazing.
That would have been
Literally, because I don't know, it would have been exactly, it would have been crazy if, like, let's say Josh Brolin did something crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, Marvel's beginning phase would have been just like wiped off of the face of the earth.
Yeah, that would have been.
So I guess that's the equivalent.
Yeah.
To what Jonathan Major went through.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
It
might be a little bit worse too, because even if Josh Brolin had screwed up, you could have got another actor to sound like him.
I guess so, because they didn't show his face and stuff.
Face in person. You would have had to recast it. Maybe they could have recast a different human to play variants of Kang, but I don't know. They tied a lot to this one person, and he, you know.
Do you think that's what that was the talk with Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
It's like
he was gonna play.
I don't know. Do you think that's a terrible thing that Marvel's so fixated on? Oh, it has to be that person, or just no?
I think they've reconsidered that now. I think they should have been open to recasting, even though I understand why they didn't immediately recast.
Well, I think the new Black Panther is going to be his son, all right, or his yeah. So it's not going to be him.
People were saying, "Hey, just put someone else in and do the regular Black Panther." I understand and respect why they didn't do that, because it's a huge loss. But whether you do it or not, losing that actor after he's made a name for himself as that character, if he was such a big deal that they were going to build a lot of MCU around him, which makes sense. The same way you would do with Iron Man, the same day.
Oh God, I would have
Spider-Man. It would have been great, and then we lost him. And you know what do you do? That
is such a shame. I think he would have been at least Robert Downey Jr. money level, at least. I don't know if you're gonna, because like the amount of effort they would have put behind him.
Yeah,
I think a couple movies in, he would have been like one of the biggest paid black actors ever.
Yeah, it would have been.
That's such a shame.
I feel bad that we lost him, man. It sucks.
Ah. Why is that not talked about? Like, literally, he could have been a big deal black actor, right? The more like, you imagine how many black actors would have $1 billion price tag next to him, right? I mean, like, that would have been the opportunity. That would have been that's
rough,
crazy.
Man. That's rough. So I mean, they went through a lot of difficulties. And hopefully they're recovering now. They get some big names to play big characters, and if they get it that these movies need to be connected, they need to draw people back in. I think Spider-Man. So here's another thing I'll say. Even though Spider-Man doesn't strongly connect to everything, maybe if this is an entry point for anybody to come in, I think you can come into this Spider-Man and start from here.
I definitely agree. That
might work out in their favor.
I don't love it, but
right from here. Yeah, I agree.
Because that's not how it should be with fourth movie in.
No.
All right. Any last words?
I think Lanterns will be good. I think Marvel is going to be okay going forward, and I think Black people rock. That's it. That's all.
Also, this is my God. It's like, I know this is long, but it's like I enjoy these conversations. Right? It's just an enjoyable conversation, and you know, like Out Joke said, great conversations. I love it. I'm sorry. I think these are fun conversations, and these are very intellectual, very strong. It's like, you know, there's depth to it. There's variety to it. It's like, I just wish you had more time. Brother, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing it. All right,
this was fun. As always.
I always love it. But I wish you had more time. Guys, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for checking out. I know it's a long live, but when this guy's on, it's usually a long live, right? That's the thing. This is why, and I enjoy it. So, but guys, thank you. Thank you. But that is it for tonight. You guys are amazing. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Check out my other videos.